goes.
Let's do this.
My phone is not on a good battery percentage to be looking at the chat, though. It's the only thing. Alright. Oh, I could just play the audio and then have another screen pulled up, couldn't I?
Probably could.
Yeah, I could do that.
I'm also watching this.
People don't want to watch a
well.
black screen.
No.
You know, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's see if we are working. Alright.
Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to the stream.
What's going on, Nate? Going on, Hoodie? Going on, Saucy? What's up, Kingly? Kingly Logan. Hello. Alright, we're just gonna wait a few minutes for people to get in here and while I finish setting up everything.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
What's up, Chase Washington?
How's y'all day been going?
It's been going pretty good. Thank you for asking.
Hell yeah.
It's actually been fucking terrible, but
shit.
Let's not talk about that. Can't wait to see this stream by my boy Noodles. Although, why so late, man? Just better timing for me, honestly. It's just I do stuff throughout the day, so and then I'll sleep through the morning. So basically, this is my time to be alive. Man, why you gotta stream at midnight? I just explained it. What's going on, Ryan Brown? Jiraiya versus Orochimaru. Orochimaru with nasties on Jiraiya. He puts his doo-doo down that guy's head, like, unironically. Right.
I remember when me and Prophet, like, debated, Kakuzu versus Pain, and that was, like, one of his first arguments was that, he was scaling Pain to Jiraiya and then Jiraiya to Orochimaru, and I was just like, I don't know about the Orochimaru shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was, like, wasn't like the statement that they were equal only in like in the data books, and it was like referring to when Orochimaru was leaving the Leaf Village to go do his own shit.
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty crazy. All right, I should probably put your name in the title of this, at least for now. That way, people when they see it, Noodles and Surfbone react to the Swagkage debate. Beautiful. All right, let me go grab my charger real quick. You are now obligated to entertain them while I'm gone. So
alrighty, I'm the entertainer now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What's up, chat?
I'm gonna go grab my charger really quickly. I'll be right back.
Yeah, his phone is almost dead. My mind remains at 80%. Alright, what's good, chat?
Is he making monkey noises yet?
No, I am not making monkey noises yet, Noodles.
You're not doing what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to entertain them.
I'm entertaining the chat. I'm interacting with the chat. They haven't said anything yet. Did Pain say Jiraiya would have won if he knew Pain's secrets? Did he say that? I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah, he did say that. He said that he would have won if like Jiraiya would have fucking known what was like Pain's abilities and stuff, which that is a testament to how smart Jiraiya is, because he's obviously not more powerful than Pain. So
yeah,
he would have.
It's just like he has like he's far more like literally he like neg the first three that were around, like the first three Pains he literally bodied all them.
Yeah,
with the sound genjutsu, and then because the one that revives the Pains was still around, so that's why the other Pains were able to come back. So
how do you spell orangutan?
Orangutan?
Yeah, orangutan.
Or
it's like
I'm
orange.
Pretty sure. Or
alright, that's how it is. It's orangutan. Alright, I figured we could put some orangutans on the screen for the people that don't want to look at a black screen. Just
okay.
That's a good one. We'll put this one up. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Did they finish the video? We're about to finish the video. We're going to.
We just started. Also, can you stream it for me?
Yeah, I forgot to do that. Alright. So do you wanna see this?
I want to see the erect.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to see. Kakuzu scales over the Kakashi, scaling with Kakuzu, Blitz, Kakashi, and movement speed. Kakashi did the same thing to the Deva path. Yes, but the Deva was weakened. Surveyor to draw his credit, he did Mop 3 before he got revived, and then perma-killed another before dying. Yeah, that is facts. Put a picture of me. Never. Noodles, you never answer my question. What was your question, Breakpoint? Repeat it. Cooking with peanut oil, that's something. Yeah, we are. Cooking with peanut oil is the way to cook. Alright, you ready to get down and dirty with this Surfbone?
Oh hell yeah! Let's finish this shit.
Before we start, I must do the honorary ritual of
The honorary ritual.
hold on. Of maybe if it would work. There we go. There it is. It's coming in. It's coming in a little late. Bam! Kabuya! Gotta start the dono train. You know what I mean?
Okay.
we gotta.
Okay.
The ritual of donating to myself. There it is. Dono train, baby.
Yeah, nope's here. He's gonna just overshadow you with his dono.
Yeah, tell me if you can hear this and when I pull up their orangutan page.
Okay.
Let's
painter
see if this
weaker,
works.
Whatever
Can you
that
still
thing
hear
is
it?
That's not
Yeah,
standard.
let me see. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
in
can
one of the
still
data
hear it.
books.
Let's go.
Is it those statements in chat, Noodles? The ones I sent? Were those
Yeah,
the right
thank you.
ones?
Alright, so if you guys haven't watched the first part of the stream, stay for this stream anyway, but this is basically the second part of me and Surfbone's reaction to the Swagkage debate that I had with Swag. So, basically, we're just going to continue that. So if you haven't seen that first part, you're probably going to be pretty lost, but regardless, we're doing this live, so it'll be fun for you either way.
Mm-hmm.
You ready to go, Surfbone?
We'll just answer Saucy's question. Noodles, would you debate the judges who said you lost? Question mark.
The judges said I lost. Yeah, I mean, I'll debate the judges that fed Swag arguments. No problem. Of course they're going to say I lose. That's their arguments. Like, they don't want to say their arguments lost. It's obvious that that stuff is just going to be how it plays out. Like, it doesn't change anything. But yeah, regardless. So far, been stomping pretty hard, but either way. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I don't have to put this full screen.
Sure, so
Whatever's that stated at, that's not
yeah,
standard.
let me see. Yeah, it's in one of the data books.
Is it those statements in chat, Noodles? The ones I sent? Were those
Yeah,
the right
thank you.
ones? No problem.
Yeah, they hit. Can you tell me how much pages are between those?
Sure, I'll count.
Thank you.
There's a reason I'm asking for how many pages are between Pain getting the full power statement
11
back
pages? Yeah, that's not much at all.
and when he
Yeah,
attacks
he's right.
Naruto. Because basically, he's
Wait,
attacking
what? Wait,
Naruto
about what?
David
11
Patrick
pages
is Jutsu
before he says that he's at full
Repulsive
power, so it's not far at all, especially because it's mid-fight.
Stopping the other pet. Yeah, the pains and concentrating the chakra only for jutsu. By stopping using the other pains and concentrating the chakra only for jutsu, the strength and area affected can greatly be increased with an attack of this power. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, sure. So like Tendo gets more powerful when like he's not worrying about the other pains.
Yeah, I mean, we basically see that with Six Tails anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is like when all the other pains are running around and he's not at full power.
Yeah,
so,
but he's
I
still
mean,
gotta be fighting Kakaze in the beginning of this, so.
Yeah, but he wouldn't be fatigued. Like he wouldn't have just
Wait, hold
blown
on,
up
wait,
the
what-
whole Leaf Village. So
Hold on one second. So the argument I'm going to use is that like base Naruto is still relative to all 6 pads up, right?
I don't know about all 6 paths, because I mean he
6
fights.
pad, that's the weakest pain can be is when all 6 are up, right?
Yeah, but he still loses to all 6. So
Yeah, either way, it's relative in speed, right?
no, because he gets like blitzed. Like Sage Naruto gets blitzed by Preta
get
just
blitzed?
jumping. He gets like the Preta just jumps in front of Rasen Shuriken from like off screen.
Oh,
like, he's
Noodles.
nowhere to be seen.
What's up?
so.
You got somebody
Preta
who's
jumps in front of
trying to
Rasen Shuriken.
Yeah, like
You're
Naruto
probably
throws it,
We have a
and
heckler?
like, Preta's just like
Okay,
he's
well, that's
not.
since the
able-
Rasen
Yes.
Shuriken's movement speed is just slower than Naruto's combat speed, so.
We got a heckler.
Swag won the speed
I mean,
feats.
Naruto
You bring
didn't
up
even
side
see him
arguments that had
before,
nothing to do
so-
with speed and
He's
beat
like
him in
blocking
weak arguments,
his,
which
like,
had nothing to do with the main
attacks straight up,
topic.
Like, he's just literally reacting
No,
to pain the
I didn't.
entire
I
fight.
beat him on the
Like,
speed point, so we'll
I
just
don't
go
know
over it
how
when we
you're
get
I don't know
there.
about the entire fight because
Basically the entire
that's the only example of
Every
Naruto
time-
reacting to pain.
Well, it's like 6
Deep
attacks
pain.
in a row though, and then like after the Sage Naruto reacts to pain too. So it's like base Naruto and Sage Naruto are consistently able to.
Yeah,
react
but
to
then
pain.
pain also reacts to like Sage Naruto, so that would by default like
Yeah,
scale
they're
above
relative to each
base
other.
Naruto. Do you think Sage Naruto and base Naruto are relative in speed?
Yeah. The only differences between them, like people have this really big misconception about like Sage Mode and the Sharingan, that they like increase your physical combat speed. Like this is debunked early into part 1, where yeah, it does enhance your reaction and your stances, right? But that doesn't mean it's gonna enhance your like actual movement speed. Like the sensory capabilities of fucking the Sharingan when like Sasuke fights Lee, right? Weren't like he could see the attacks coming, but it doesn't mean he's physically fast enough to move, right? It does help you defensively, right? Because you can see attacks coming, but it's not gonna help you offensively when you're throwing punches. It's not gonna make your arms move faster. So
Well, Sage Mode does. Hold on, I think there's a statement about Naruto being faster in Sage Mode
Alright.
somewhere.
So there is a particular DM that was sent between Six, the judge, and Swagkage around this time period. It's a little bit later when it happens. That just so happens to be very relevant to what we're talking about right now. Not calling Swag a cheater, but it's a little sketchy. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen the screenshots. It's on my Twitter. You can go look at my Twitter if you want to see it. But there is one scan that it gets sent between Six and Swag in their DMs. And Swag happens to use that argument after not, for whatever reason, being able to really find it. Now, it is still probable that, or it is still possible, not necessarily probable, that he did find it on his own. So, I'm not going to say he's cheating for it, but again, it kind of throws the whole debate into question. Not that I didn't get past the argument anyway, but still, again, let's continue.
I'm pretty.
I mean,
sure.
it would just apply to his reaction speed if that's the case. 'Cause the
No,
only
like being
time I
like
ever talked-
physically faster.
If you can find that, that'd be dope. But
Yeah, I'll have to look for it.
do you know where it would be?
I know I've read it somewhere. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see.
The argument we're having right now is whether or not base Naruto scales to pain. So, the way I argued it was both base Naruto and Sage Naruto are able to react to the same pain, or in pain is able to react to them, meaning that there can't be that much of a difference between base and Sage Naruto. So even if Sage Naruto does amp you up a bit, it's not a significant difference to put him past what he was already doing in base. So that's how you would argue it. Because if Sage Mode significantly amped him, when he turns on Sage Mode, he should be blitzing pain, right? Or he should be moving at least noticeably faster, but he literally moves the same speed. He is noticeably more powerful, though, because when he hits pain, he, like, flies through the air. But pain is still able to react to him, so it's not a significant difference.
Also, isn't like the main thing about like Sage Mode being like super like OP? It's like the main reason why Sage Mode is super OP is that like not only I believe it doesn't make you stronger. I'm pretty sure it
like-
does.
Yeah, it definitely makes you stronger. That's how, like,
But I
Naruto
think,
was able
like-
to lift up the giant boulder and stuff.
Right, and then it's like one of the main things is like now he has access to nature energy and he has like a much wider chakra pool now, and that's why he's able to like use way more Rasen Shuriken than he can before.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Why did the truth that just jump into the Kakuzu versus Pain shit on Twitter?
I don't know
Yeah, I
why
remember.
he did that, but it irritated me really bad because he basically just said the same normie thing everyone else says. But yeah, either way, let's continue.
Hold on, never mind. I won't. I said I'm done reading this. Let me see.
I'm decided
Funnels
not to be
might have
late for
been,
work for this, by
you
the
know
way,
who,
so I just wanted you to know that.
like what Nate said.
I mean, if he's causing a problem, just get rid of him. Like, I don't care if you
I
ban
shouldn't be
him.
doing this right now. I don't think that statement exists. I've seen most of the statement stuff. I've never seen anything like that. So
You can keep going with what you were saying while I look for this.
The truth is a Dokkan YouTuber for
basically the
anyone
argument
else
goes
in the
like
chat
this, right?
wondering.
Yeah, it's like this Dokkan YouTuber with like
Kakuzu's
250,000
faster than
subs.
Base Naruto is relative to
I was
the
like,
Pads of Pain. If
why
you
is he
wanna say,
talking
like-
about this?
Like, you showed the statement of, like, him being able to concentrate more chakra to, like, make his attack stronger. That doesn't prove he's able to concentrate more chakra to make them faster or whatever, because we know, like, just chakra amount doesn't, like, increase speed or anything. So it's, like, whether or not he would need some kind of jutsu to increase his speed, like body flicker or something, which I don't think he's listed as a user of in the data book.
Well,
So-
everybody uses body flicker. It's base. It's like a basic like.
No, they specifically list.
Well,
certain
like
uses
a
of it.
low level body flicker is like different though, and it's like
I know what
most
you
people
mean.
aren't listed as yeah. So it's like okay, but yeah.
He's
never mind.
coming
Yeah, you
back
got
on
it.
ults.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, like so what was I saying? Yeah, like basically, base Naruto is relative to the Pads of Pain. Base and Sage are relative to the Pads of Pain. Kakuzu is above base Naruto. So this would establish that Kakuzu would be faster and or relative to the Pads of Pain, right?
No, because I don't agree that Kakuzu's faster than base Naruto.
What's your disputation with those? other than,
Let
like, a
me
weekend argument?
1 second.
Okay, so
Let me look
notice
for
how
one more
Swag's
thing for
specific
this
argument
thing.
is not that base Naruto isn't relative to Pain, because he argued he was weakened before, okay? He's argued Pain was weakened before. That argument gets pooped on later. It actually already got kind of debunked earlier in the debate with the whole, like, you need to prove that someone's significantly weakened kind of argument. That already kind of got debunked, but it really gets debunked later. So, the argument right now is not whether or not base Naruto scales to Pain. The argument is whether or not Kakuzu is faster than base Naruto. It's not base Naruto, by the way, but we just said it was.
This is like the first time in a while where the debate actually gets quiet because you both are looking for shit.
Yeah, let's fast forward a little bit.
It wasn't like just
Like a curse mark thing going on, so. It's Dragon Sage mode.
because he was like
I have no idea. It's Dragon Sage mode.
'Cause he was like-
He's also got like a curse mark thing going on, so. It's just like a different form than like the kind of Sage mode that Naruto's using entirely.
yeah, but I think that the idea for Sage mode is like it's
It's
the idea for
basically-
using Senjutsu is like pretty consistent across all of them. Like you
Heck
just
no,
use
curse
like,
mark
nature
and Sage
energy.
mode are wildly different.
No,
Like, how they-
Kabuto was using Sage mode. He went to
I know
Ryuchi
he's
Cave
using
and
Sage
mastered
mode.
Sage mode. Like he
I know
wasn't
he's
just using
using-
a curse mark.
I know,
He
I'm
was
just saying, but like curse mark is also like Senjutsu, and you were talking about Senjutsu, so I was like,
yeah, and the
they're, like,
curse
completely
mark
different.
also like I mean yeah sure, but like they both give you like physical amps, and like the curse mark is like not letting you like you don't tap into like the nature energy really, like you're not personally
That's what
using
Yuga
it. It's like
does.
Orochimaru. No, but like Sasuke's not using Senjutsu like a user of Sage mode is. Like he's just being given Orochimaru's chakra.
I mean, it's
which-
still Senjutsu either way. Is just why.
yeah, but Sasuke's
I don't
not
care if it's,
using
like,
it, which is the difference. That's what I'm saying. Like when
What do
he
you mean he's
uses
not
the
using
curse
it?
mark.
Like, it's
Like,
just literally
Sasuke
him
is
abusing
not-
nature energy.
I mean, no, like, cause when you hold on, fuck.
I don't even know
wanna
what he's
get
trying to
into a
argue here.
fucking Argument about the semantics of Sage mode.
I don't know what he's trying to argue here. Like, the
He-
curse
he
mark
just, like,
is literally just Senjutsu. It's Sage energy. It's nature energy that's converted into chakra. It's still Senjutsu. I don't know. Does anyone else know what he's trying to say?
I'm a bit confused. He even
I don't know what he's trying to say.
Didn't he? Well, he even said like this is not relevant. Trying to go over like the semantics of Sage mode, even though it's like he cannot even like what he's trying to argue. He can't even prove like literally no statement exists that says like Sage mode amps your combat speed. It literally Naruto says like the reason why he used it against like the third Raikage. Like when he went to like KCM to Sage mode, is that Sage mode has way better reaction speed. So
Yeah, exactly.
and it's like
Yeah,
so it's like yeah, it's not even that like fat. It's not even just particularly fast. Like KCM definitely amps speed. Like we definitely see that full force once we first see it in action.
Sage
so.
mode potentially amps speed. I didn't talk about it in this debate just because I didn't want to get fucking into like a semantics debate. Funny, ironic, but the issue is like the Sage mode Naruto has during the War arc and the Sage mode he has like in the Pain arc appear to be different, right? Just because like not like different in like application or anything, but like the kind of training Naruto does with KCM is like how is learning to control chakra better, right? He's learning to like take the Nine Tails chakra and manipulate it, which is kind of similar to how you learn how to control nature energy. So it's potential. There's a lot of potential there for him to actually be able to be controlling nature energy a lot better during the War arc than he was during the Pain arc, just because of the KCM training he did. I didn't mention that in this debate because it is just kind of like my own headcanon. Maybe not headcanon, but just kind of like a hypothetical. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway.
I guess we have to fucking
Yeah,
talk
either,
about
it's
this
not
another
relevant.
time.
Like either way, like I was just gonna argue that
So,
like, unless he's formed, like,
Naruto tags Kakuzu not once but twice, and I would argue that based on your definition for blitz earlier, Naruto blitzes him
so
with
my
the Rasen
definition of
Shuriken.
blitz included through the use of speed, but we know that's not the case. He did it through the use of shadow clone diversions.
Yeah, but Kakuzu could still see him coming and clearly had plenty of time to react to him.
No, he didn't see him coming. He got hit
Yes,
from
he did.
behind. Like it's like he sees him last second, right? But either way, like at that point, it's like he's already been put in a disadvantageous position.
Let me see here. Where is?
If you have
the
plenty of time to
first
react,
Rasen
then
Shuriken
how is
hit?
that a bullet?
It's like had Kakuzu seen where the real Naruto was the entire time, he would have just grabbed him and killed him like he was gonna do anyway.
Nope, Kakuzu has enough time to, let me see. Yeah, he has enough time to react here, because
I wonder how much
you see him
in-panel
reach for
measurement
Naruto to grab him, and he, like,
Swag
fails.
is doing right now.
And, like, you can see that last panel, he can
So-
clearly see Naruto, and he's like,
Yeah, so what's happening in the situation is he reacts to Naruto, right? He hears him coming from behind. He 180s him and still almost reacts to him. Could you imagine, Swag, if someone ran up on you full speed from behind and you still managed to react 180?
He didn't really react, he got hit, so...
He's
Like, he turned around, but he
turned-
still got hit.
Okay, so that's a reaction then, right?
Why didn't he just jump?
Just because, like, jumping just wasn't in his thought process at the time. I don't know. Like, whatever reason I want to give.
But I
like,
thought
it doesn't
Kakuzu was,
matter.
like, really smart.
Yeah.
He is
Like, I
really
don't know.
smart. He's, like, one of the...
Yeah, so why didn't he just jump? So I didn't even think about how stupid this argument is until just hearing it back again. But could you, like, again, like, jumping is not actually that easy to do when you're being, like, ran at from behind full speed. Like, could you, like, it's literally like the idea, like, you just hear someone, you turn around, you see him there, right? And then you're just, like, freak out. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like, Kakuzu's reaction was to try and stab him or, like, grab him or whatever, you know? It's like, what makes you think Kakuzu has, like, the mental cognitive ability in that stage? Because he already knows that attack is, like, freaky, right? Like, the Rasen Shuriken is a scary attack, and he knows it's scary. So it's kind of crazy to me that people, like, think that because he's, like, running up behind him, he could have just jumped. Like, he's literally getting caught off guard by these clones. He's being completely diverted away from them. Naruto verbatim says that he needs at least 3 clones to adjust for Kakuzu's combat speed. And a thing I didn't mention in the debate is Naruto's amped by the Nine Tails here. People don't even know that. Like, his eyes on panel, you can see, are slit like the Nine Tails eyes. So he's literally using Nine Tails chakra. And he's getting ran up on and outmaneuvered, right? He's getting diverted. And what they don't mention, and I do bring this up, is Kakuzu blitzed Naruto and his clones at multiple different points. He blitzes them. And we know the clones are relative to Naruto. Swag never disputes that they're relative because they're able to combo attack with each other. Okay? So that means that these clones and, like, all these, like, things that Kakuzu is blitzing, and that just proves that the only reason Naruto is able to, like, tag him at all is through the usage of his shadow clones, which is the entire narrative of this fight, is Naruto using shadow clones to trick Kakuzu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and something to confirm this, I didn't use this in the debate either. Choji verbatim says that no one there is fast enough to tag Kakuzu, including
Really?
Naruto. Yeah, Choji says that. I think I could find the panel. Hold on, let me see if I can find the panel really quickly. Let me turn off my display. I already know where it's at. Like, Choji actually just says in that encounter that no one there is fast enough to tag him. Let me see if I can find it really quickly.
I'm looking for it as well.
I already found it.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Look at this.
Then we're stuck. We can't hit him that fast. Not
Yeah.
this guy.
We're stuck. Then we're stuck. We can't hit him. He's too fast. Like, we can't hit him that fast. Not this guy. Like, literally, he's literally saying everyone there is not fast enough to hit him.
And then in the same panel, Kakuzu's just like, yeah, his jutsu is useless as long as I keep my distance. And it's like, as long as I keep my eye on the real body, literally saying that like the shadow clones is the only thing that's like fucking up Kakuzu being able to like not being able to avoid the attack.
Yeah.
It's like he's literally just talking about, yeah, the shadow clones are what's like he's afraid of. It's not the fact that he thinks that Naruto can even keep up with them.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's like, and we know Choji isn't just bullshitting either, because he just saw Naruto like attack Kakuzu. He just saw him do it. So we know that Choji just watched Naruto and Kakashi like fight Kakuzu, and he says, then we're stuck. We can't hit him. Like, he literally knows that this entire group of people can't hit Kakuzu. So, and then Naruto specifically says on panel that they need shadow clones in order to divert his attention. I've already went over this. I think I pooped on Swag on this argument either way, but like, I wish I'd have hammered this more home. That's the only thing. I wish I'd have did more, just to really make it convincing. But either way.
The only character.
And he also like states that like he compares like the Rasen Shuriken to like a Biju, like a Nine Tails level attack too. So.
I mean, it does harm the Nine Tails. It's fucking pretty.
Yeah,
powerful.
like he says, like it's a jutsu befitting of the beast, and Kakuzu makes it very clear he doesn't want to get hit by it. So
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like
a
if he
monster
just
of a
jumped-
jutsu for sure.
Yeah, so I think he would just like jump if he could have.
Yeah, but the issue is like maybe he just like whatever reason is like I could give you like any reason. We don't know why he didn't jump, but either way, like the argument is whether or not he reacted. So he's not blitzing Kakuzu there.
So
By that
like, I mean, like
definition.
so like if Pain uses like a diversion, Kakuzu just gets hit by Soul Steel and dies.
Maybe, but it's like the reason Naruto's able to
So
divert
Kakuzu
so well.
would lose.
No, not necessarily. Because the reason like Naruto's able to divert so well is because there's like multiple statements of him being like the most unpredictable ninja ever, and like he just like his luck stat and all the data books are like as high as they can be and shit like that. Pain is not like that though, so I doubt he would be able to get past the analytical prowess that like Kakuzu has. Like the only reason Naruto's able to do that is literally just because he's the most unpredictable ninja that has ever existed. He's actually a super hard counter to Kakuzu's style. Because Kakuzu's entire fighting ability is like analyzing people, figuring them out mid-fight, and then beating them, right? Like that's
So
what
like
does
he
every time.
couldn't like predict Naruto will come up behind me like
Yeah.
that. Like that was just like
In
too
that
low
instance,
level
because
for
of the
him.
clones, like yeah,
Like he didn't think Naruto will make a clone and come up behind me. That's like unpredictable.
Well, it was like the way he did it.
Because that seems pretty fucking straightforward.
It
to me, I
seems
don't
like
know.
it is, but it's not, right?
And then like he
Hold
got
on,
hit by, and then he got hit by.
Yeah.
Stop gish galloping your shotgun.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm
Yes, you are.
replying.
Okay, so I know everyone just heard him make like 3 points in a row. Like,
I think you're about to like point out right after you unpause this what those 3 points were as well.
Yeah.
So
To
Yes,
your
you are.
point.
No,
I'm
you didn't say
replying
that.
to
You
your
just
point
made
about
3
him being-
points. Okay, well, hold on. Let me respond.
Okay.
So, yeah, like Kakuzu was able to mid-fight react to Shikamaru's premeditated plan to capture them with shadow clones. When that shit happened, when like that super fucking complex like plan that Shikamaru created to like capture both Hidan and Kakuzu using like the wind chakra blades and shit, he instantly reacted, put his heart under the ground, just knowing, just out of fucking what's it called, analytical prowess, like it says it in the data book that he did that through analysis immediately, and then he later breaks himself out as the only character in the entire series who outsmarted Shikamaru, right? That's the only time that ever happened. So,
Yeah, so-
so he does react to super complex things. So whatever Naruto did, even though it may seem like it was
Well,
small,
can I
whatever Naruto did
respond?
is-
Can I respond?
Let me finish real quick, and then you can go. So whatever Naruto did, even though it may just seem like he's using one clone and like hiding it or whatever, because Kakuzu just predicted the wrong clone, right? That's basically what happened. If he would have predicted the right clone, he'd have killed Naruto, but he predicted the wrong clone. So whatever tactics Naruto used to predict it, to outpredict him there was just too much. That's just how it is.
What you said about Shikamaru just kind of helps me though. Like it was like a multi-stage, like crazy plan, and Kakuzu picked it apart like all at once and like
Yeah.
still reacted to it. So like he can't react to Naruto coming behind him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Naruto-
not like so like you're saying then that like Kakuzu just had to guess left, right, and behind. Like
Yeah.
there was no other way for him to possibly react. Not
He
just
guessed
like,
the wrong
be
one.
faster.
And,
Not,
like,
he
again,
couldn't
like-
just be faster. Because I think if he was like fucking like like he should have been fast enough to react to it and like dodge it, right? Like this would
I mean, he
definitely
does
at
react-
least
he does-
make
he does
base
react to
Naruto.
it, so.
This would definitely make base Naruto relative to him.
No, we don't know the distance between them. We don't know how much we don't know how much like separation Kakuzu could have gotten. Like, had he
I
been,
was
like,
also
facing
about
him
to say. I was about to say too. Naruto also hits him from behind like twice, so I don't know. I don't think it's really being
Yeah, in both of those
unpredictable.
situations, it's literally.
It's
stated
not
that
really
he was caught
unpredictable
off
if
guard.
Naruto does the same.
He
thing
literally
twice
says
a
in
row.
both of those situations that he was caught off guard. Both of those have a statement for it. Literally both.
Yeah, sure, but that doesn't. Then
Okay, do you
that's
think
just
that-
not Naruto being unpredictable.
Okay,
that's,
so do you think catching someone off guard means you're faster than them then?
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
Okay,
is
then
that
stop
no,
arguing.
if you could let me fucking respond, please. Like you just talked for
It's
like
like,
fucking
I'm a
like
dickhead,
5
bro.
minutes.
I won't
straight.
let you respond. Fuck you.
I mean, like you just talked for like
I'm just
5
playing,
minutes
bro.
straight.
Go ahead. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, like you were saying that Naruto is like unpredictable. There was like no way for Kakuzu to like analyze like his like plan of attack, and Naruto goes behind him 2 times and successfully hits him. So I mean, like I don't know, like
Yeah,
either
it's just because
Kakuzu's like
they
not that smart, or like you said, he is, which is demonstrated, and he should have been able to account for Naruto showing up behind him.
I mean, if you want to just
but he
like
just
roll it up
wasn't
the
able
plot,
to
like,
because
losing to
Naruto was like faster. So
No, it's like it could just be.
Okay, so just to cut this off because this is a lot to talk about. Basically, what we're discussing right now is whether or not base Naruto is relative to Kakuzu. And the argument I am making is that in both situations, it's stated that Kakuzu was caught off guard. Okay, getting caught off guard usually can throw you off, right? That's literally what it means. It's basically you getting thrown off. You're not prepared for what's about to hit you, right? Because the argument I was going to make was, had Kakuzu been prepared, he would have been able to kill him, and that's shown with him blitzing Naruto's clones when they're just running, okay? I don't know if I've made the clone argument yet, but I've definitely made an argument for, I definitely do make that argument later in the debate, so I argue that, basically, in both these situations, Kakuzu is caught off guard. Swag acknowledged that, he was like, sure, but, I don't even, his argument is just that, because Kakuzu is smart, he should have accounted for it, right? You can still be smart and predict the wrong thing, right? Again, like, it's, like, we understand that Kakuzu is really smart, and he can pick apart complex strategies, but just because a strategy is complex, doesn't make it any less predictable or unpredictable. It still can be predictable, even if it's complex, right? Just because Naruto's strategy is very brutish and simplistic does not change that he still is unpredictable. Because even though it's a 50-50 shot, Naruto has a high luck stat. So, you know, I mentioned that too in the data book. His luck stat in all of the data books is like maxed out. So he could have just gotten lucky, right? And that's totally what he does. Like, they call him the #1 Maverick, the #1 most unpredictable ninja ever, right? That entire idea, it's like surrounding the narrative of Naruto, that he's always in the right place at the right time when he needs to be. And that's just how it is when he fights. His strategy is to divert people with shadow clones, be lucky with his shadow clones, and be unpredictable. That's his bread and butter, and that's how he beat Kakuzu. And that's literally what is basically stated in the fight, is that he needs shadow clones to divert Kakuzu. It's stated by Choji that no one there is fast enough to hit Kakuzu. You know, there's just tons of stuff that when Naruto and Kakuzu are just running at each other and Kakuzu can see them, Kakuzu blitzes him. And I also mentioned this, had Kakashi and Yamato not saved Naruto, he would have died, right? There's tons of stuff. Yes, he is smart, but he's predicting the wrong person. And you can be smart and just get the wrong prediction, right? Doesn't matter how smart you are. If you got a 50-50 shot at this and you predict the wrong one, you predicted the wrong one, right? Kakuzu thought he big-brained it, but he didn't. And that literally could just be due to the supernatural luck that Naruto has, right? That's the plot. So that's kind of the idea of this argument. And
like the one,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the one character that like was able to hard counter like the shadow clones from Naruto is the person that knows Naruto the most, which is Sasuke. The one character that was able to hard counter his shadow clones.
Yeah, literally. And also, Naruto does this against Neji too, right?
Yep.
Neji was blitzing Naruto and was outpacing him, and then he just got out-predicted, right? Or he got outplayed by a shadow clone.
Didn't he do that against Kaguya as well?
He did it against Kaguya. Yeah, this is such a
Kaguya.
He does it against Pain, bro. Like, he does it against everyone Naruto fights that's major, he does it against, basically. This is how he fights. It's not, he doesn't have to out-physical stat you to beat you. He doesn't have to outsmart you to beat you, right? what he does is he sits there with his shadow clones. He has a good jutsu, right? The Rasen Shuriken. And then he plays with that and finds a way to beat you, right? That's what he does every single time. That's the entire series of Naruto, basically. So, again, this argument is really bad, but let's go.
Be due to the case that like the luck or whatever of Naruto, like I just said, like he had like the max luck stat in all of the data books, right? Like he has like supernatural luck and is super unpredictable. Like both of those things could have accounted for the reasons that Kakuzu wasn't able to react.
Yeah, it could have, but something else that could have is Naruto was fast enough.
But we know that's not true because we can.
All right, hold on. Before we get into my debunk to why it can't be speed, Swag is acknowledging that there's two other possibilities here that Naruto is not blitzing Kakuzu. If you guys remember from the first debate, the first reaction to this debate, the whole walking tall appeal to possibility, like his entire argument is that it's possible that these events could happen this way, therefore you can't definitively prove it's this way. That goes for this too. He's trying to say Naruto is relative to Kakuzu here. No proof of that, right? There's other possibilities. Maybe Naruto is outlucking him or just being unpredictable, right? Both of those things could have accounted for it, like I said. So, no, Swag's argument fails here when he acknowledges that there's other possibilities because he is a walking tall appeal to possibility. It's just how it works. Anyway.
See that Kakuzu is clearly able to blitz multiple clones and Naruto himself and would have killed him.
Yeah,
so it's not speed.
No. Let me not say yet. Naruto got blitzed by Kakuzu when he failed to hit him with the Rasen Shuriken and was making physical contact with him.
Okay, so that
Kakuzu had already also just reached out a hand to try to get Naruto, so he was already halfway through grabbing.
Okay, I'm not referring to that situation. I'm referring to the time where he blitzed all of his clones too. Because his clones are relative to him.
Yeah, sure. Let me look at that again. The clones that Naruto specifically sent out there to not
be a diversion.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but even if they're just for a diversion, he wouldn't hold them back, right? Like he would want them to be faster. That way they could divert better. So it's still a good idea for them to be moving full speed. And we know.
Yeah, but like you're saying that like because Kakuzu could like hit the clones like once, that like that means he's like significantly faster than Naruto, but like Naruto hits him twice, so I'd say that means relative.
Yeah, so hold on. What we have right now is we have two situations where Naruto is catching Kakuzu off guard, and Swag already admitted in these two situations that it's possible that Naruto is not faster than him, but rather just being unpredictable or lucky, okay? And in the other situations, we just have Kakuzu blitzing Naruto. I mean, is it any more clear-cut than that? Like, he's definitively losing this argument. Like, it's not subjective. He's losing this argument just from him acknowledging these other possibilities and just from him accepting that Kakuzu got caught off guard. How can you say he won this point? You can't. You literally can't.
Times Naruto hits him, though, whereas when Kakuzu hits him, right, he's hitting him head on, right? There's no getting caught off guard there. When Kakuzu gets hit, he's getting caught off guard. So you can't say that.
Yeah, but he clearly sees Naruto and has plenty of time, a whole fucking page of time.
In the only situations where Naruto is actually tagging Kakuzu, he's caught off guard. But in every situation other than that, where he's not caught off guard, Kakuzu is bullying him.
It's also not stated that Kakuzu caught off guard the first time.
Yes, it is.
When?
It literally, Naruto says he's going to use this as a diversion.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's catching Kakuzu off guard.
What do you think a diversion does?
Diversion can be used to get like heat
someone's
off
attention,
you.
right?
It can also be used as like Naruto could be using them as like a wall basically to protect himself, right? Like that's another thing. Diversion doesn't have to be like to distract people.
What?
A diversion doesn't have to be to distract people.
Yeah, what else is a diversion? So he just said like, yeah, a diversion could be a wall.
An activity that diverts the mind from tedious or serious concerns.
An instance of turning something aside from its
I
course.
think this is more like rerouting, like, which I mean I guess works too. But I mean either way, both of those definitions work, right? Because in both situations you're changing the original like focus. Because in this instance you're changing the turn or the route or whatever. In this instance you're like diverting someone's mind, which this is the one that would be applicable anyway because it just contextually fits. But
this is just like another like like the whole like untidy
untidy,
disheveled, like the undisheveled thing. He's like, oh yeah, it's like disheveled is just like, well, he's not all physically there, but he's also it's like that's defined as untidy.
So something intended to
Just-
distract someone's attention from something more important. Bro, what do you mean a diversion isn't used as it? That's literally what Naruto does. That's actually what Naruto does. That's all he does. Like that's what he. I'm not.
It's
gonna.
already like, hey, look over here, and then Naruto hits him with the
literally-
Rasen Shuriken.
He's like, look over, loser. He looks over and then he bodies him. Like, that's literally what Naruto does every single time. And it's dope as shit that he does it. It's cool, but it's literally whatever. I'm not.
You know, like if somebody's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go out there as like a diversion or whatever, like while they're like the other people are like directly behind them, and the people they're doing the diversion to can like still see the other people. Like it's still an example of a diversion, right?
Yeah,
like
so-
even if
In this case, Naruto is using diversion specifically to account for Kakuzu's speed, and he's doing it in a way that is like to distract him so he can tag him from behind. That's like his whole strat here, right? That's Naruto's entire.
But
strat.
like Kakuzu's also
So-
standing there and like acting like defensively. Like it's not like Naruto's like not fast enough. It's just like Kakuzu's literally standing still, and Naruto has to cover the ground between he and Kakuzu, while Kakuzu uses his big ass tentacles to just
Yeah.
pick Naruto off from right. Yes, that's literally what happens. I can show you a page.
What happens is
Naruto's,
Kakuzu
like, in
blitzes,
the air.
blitzes all of his clones and blitzes Naruto or whatever.
Not really
and then-
blitzes. Naruto's in midair trying to attack him from
No,
far
I'm not
away,
referring to
so-
that. I'm not referring to that situation.
What situation where Naruto's clones get blitzed then?
Just the one I already posted. So he
Yeah,
like
yeah, let
he
me-
like
let me
blitzes like
see.
4 of them or whatever, 3 of them.
Is it
however
this
many
one?
No, not that one. This one. That one's good too, but this one.
Well, no, that's not good because Kakuzu's just standing there when Naruto's like, hey, what's the page before that, by the way?
It's when they're running.
And it's not.
This seems like kind of like a red herring. I didn't call it out, but this seems like a red herring. This seems like this is like the argument where he's trying to say because Kakuzu is like playing at range that he's playing defensively, but that doesn't change whether or not
Yeah.
he like Naruto's strat is to specifically divert Kakuzu, because that is still his strategy regardless if Kakuzu is fighting defensively or offensively. So I don't really understand Swag's point here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing it, but
Not really like Naruto's fault that Kakuzu has longer range attacks than him.
It's not even just that though. Like the worms are just actually intercepting
It's
them
not
and moving
Naruto's
faster
fault.
than them.
Let me see.
What's the point of that?
Like they're reaching out faster than they can run.
And like if like Kakuzu's so much faster than them, then why is he like, yeah, I just can't let Naruto get close to me or else he'll fucking kill me.
Because he's got a really strong attack.
Yeah, sure, but if Kakuzu's that fast, why not just react to Naruto and CQC?
Because he's got a lot of luck, bro. Like it's just one of those things.
How would Kakuzu be able to see that Naruto's just like lucky? Like he wouldn't know
Well,
that.
it's not. He's not. Hold on.
Why
He's
is-
saying he doesn't want him to get close. Like even though I'm like faster than someone, right? Like say I'm fucking Muhammad Ali, right? I'm just a really fucking fast.
Yeah, you're like
fighter or
way
whatever.
faster than him.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
right?
Well, I don't know how much way faster is. I'm just saying. He's
So
faster.
then they're like relative.
I'm just saying he's faster to an unquantifiable
So,
degree.
so they might be relative.
Relative implies that there's some kind of numerical value to put them on like 50% level, right? I don't think you can prove that.
Well, I mean, he got hit twice, so.
Yeah, he got hit twice by being caught off guard twice, so it doesn't.
But I
change
mean,
anything.
he saw Naruto, so whether he was
Hold
caught
on.
off guard or not, he had time to
See,
react.
seeing Naruto when he's like all the way behind him is a lot harder to react to. Like again, Swag. Like if I ran up on you.
So wait,
full-
like,
hold
so
on, hold
you,
on, hold on. If I ran up on you full speed while your back is turned, right, and you hear me or whatever, and you like turn around, like see me running at you, the chances you're gonna react to me are still really low. And it's not because
So like
I'm necessarily
Kakuzu
super-
wasn't able to like hear.
Oh.
like-
I don't know why Swag did this. It hurt my ears so bad in the debate.
Please don't do
that.
that
Like that
again.
hurt him.
I said, please
Yeah,
don't
like, I
do
already
that
said
again.
that he hurt him, so I don't know why
Yeah,
you did
yeah,
that.
right. Like exactly, but like Naruto was able to run all the way around him while that was playing, and like it
Yeah, but
wasn't
how
because
far
of
away
speed
was he
that
before
got
Kakuzu
behind.
reacts, right? Like how when does like he use the Rasen Shuriken? How far away was
No,
it?
no, like what I'm
there's so
what
many
I'm
things
saying,
you gotta
Naruto
account
still
for.
had to run around behind Kakuzu, right? Like it's not like
Yeah,
he was
but he's
fucking
focusing
flying
on other
Raijin.
people.
Sure, okay, sure, but it doesn't matter whether or not he's fucking focusing on
Yes,
other
it does.
people.
It-
When,
Oh my god. When you're talking about
Bro.
speed, your focus and your reaction, especially when we're talking about reacting to someone, if your focus is split, you're just not going to react to them as well. That's why texting and driving is a thing, right? That's why you don't drive very good. That's why when you do anything at all, if your like attention is split between two separate things, you'll do both of those things less efficiently, right? Movement, thinking, like your process about thinking about both of them, everything will be less efficient. And Kakuzu isn't just thinking about one thing here either. He's thinking about this clone, this clone, this clone. He's thinking about Kakashi. He's probably thinking about the entire battlefield simultaneously right now. And is also thinking about Naruto, right? So his attention, and Naruto specifically is trying to divert him. You know, the king of diverting people is trying to divert him. So yeah, it does matter when you're talking about reacting to someone, because if he's focused on other people and he's trying to react to Naruto and he doesn't react to him because he's focused on other people, then it's not a flaw to his speed. It's not it's not an anti-feat for his speed. Because and like I said, in every instance where he's not focused on anything other than Naruto, he's blitzing him. He's beating him up, right? That just happens. He blitzes his clones outright as soon as they're on the battlefield because he's not being diverted at that point. The times when Naruto hits him comes when he's being diverted. So this argument is super stupid.
It literally
Shit, when
does.
so like if you're focused on other shit and somebody like a nuclear bomb goes off, you're not gonna fucking hear it?
Not necessarily, because it's not a nuclear.
Wait, what?
Hold on, it's not a nuclear.
Like
bomb.
if you're in a boxing match and somebody nukes the building like across the street, you can't fucking hear it?
Hold on. I'm not talking about a nuke. This is no nuke. This is just some fucking.
I mean, this is pretty
Rasengan
fucking
noise.
loud, and it's also
Yeah,
like
but is it a
really
fucking
close.
nuke, though? You're gonna say the
I think
Rasengan sounds like a
it's
nuke?
comparable. I think
No.
it's comparable.
Yeah, show
Like,
me the sound of compare the sound of a Rasengan to a nuke. I'll wait, bro. Like, there's no way you're gonna
Well,
ever.
no,
be
I'm
able to
not
that.
saying that. I'm saying like it's comparable for the sake of like an analogy, right? It's still.
Yeah.
It's clear that in the panel where like Naruto's about to hit Kakuzu, there's a bunch of exclamation marks, like he just got surprised. Like, I don't know, it seems like he just figured out Naruto was there when he was right behind him. So yeah, he didn't hear it until he got that close. I mean, it's pretty simple. Yeah, it is loud. That's why he heard it. But it's not that loud. It's not like a fucking nuke like Swag thinks it is for some reason.
Really
He just played it really loud in his mic.
I
fucking
understand.
loud.
Yeah, but it's not. It may not have been loud enough to fucking alert Kakuzu because he's got his focus.
Yeah, because Naruto was moving too fast.
No, you're just assuming that. Like again, like every time we
You're
see.
also making a lot of
No,
fucking assumptions.
No, I'm not. I'm arguing from the times we see him when he's not caught off guard, he's blitzing Naruto. In the times where he is caught off guard, he's still reacting.
Okay, also, Naruto had to run fast enough to get past those big-ass AoE attacks that Kakuzu threw before he
Like
threw
what?
them.
Yeah, the AoE attacks don't necessarily travel the same speed or whatever.
No, it doesn't matter whether or not they were traveling the same speed because they just went like left and right like really far. So Naruto would have had to like pass Kakuzu like first, like
You agree?
before he shot them.
Okay,
But-
do you agree that, like, Kakuzu, when he was like, he was getting like the better of Kakashi in their like hand-to-hand exchanges or whatever?
No.
You don't agree?
Okay. I don't think there's any doubt in
Jesus.
my mind that I just whooped the shit out of Swag on that point, by the way.
Oh my god. Because first you're like, yeah, it's like he was trying to compare like Kakuzu's travel speed to like to his AoE attacks, and then you're like, that's not true, and then he completely drops that point,
Yeah.
right?
It's
And
like
then I'm trying to.
it's like the only instances where he
Kakuzu.
yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, he has to pass Kakuzu. I'm like, isn't Kakuzu just literally standing still? It's not like he's running while he's shooting the fucking AoE attacks. It's
Yeah.
like,
It was
bro,
so weird to
come
me
on.
that like it's funny to me that he says he doesn't think that Kakashi was losing the exchanges that they had because Kakashi was getting walloped. But anyway,
That's really like the big difference between the anime and the manga. It's like in the anime they make it look like Kakuzu and Kakashi are
Yeah.
a relative, but then in the manga, like the only time Kakashi ever hits Kakuzu is when he doesn't sense him coming and then stabs him from the back. That's
Yeah.
the only time you ever see him.
It's
tag him.
literally stated that Naruto was diverting him, as in distract. You know, what it means to divert someone, to distract someone, and we know it means distract because Naruto does that to people earlier in the series. He does it later in the series with Neji and Kaguya. He does it to both of them, right? He distracts them with either himself or a clone, and then uses himself or a clone to beat them, right? That's what he does. So he's not doing it. Like, I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say that Naruto was more powerful than Kaguya when they fought. Because clearly he wasn't, right? He wasn't fucking more powerful. That's why he needed the help of Sasuke, Kakashi, Sakura, right? But he still beat her. Okay? It's not because... Just because someone gets tagged or whatever does not mean you're relative to them. It does not mean you're even comparable to them. Okay? You have to look at context for the feat. This isn't just some straight line. Like, what Swag is doing is literally like caveman brain. He's like, oh, he tagged him, so he's relative. Like, no, that's not how it works. Kakazu was doing so many things at the point that Naruto tagged him, and it's explicitly stated that he did it for the purpose of diverting him. And I mentioned all of that. And I also mentioned that Swag never countered, funny, the points where Naruto was getting blitzed when he was head-on with him, right? Swag didn't counter that at all. There's no way you can say you won that point.
Do that? You think Kakashi? Was,
No,
like,
I think
equal to him?
Kakashi. I think Kakashi was only really got blitzed when Kakazu used his like tentacle mode, and even then it was like probably because he wasn't like sure how to react to the tentacles. Like he hadn't seen an ability like it before, so he just.
I was
got
just
caught
talking
off
about when
guard.
they were fighting in Taijutsu, Kakazu was like winning.
No, I disagree.
You think? Okay. Have you seen the panels where he's like fucking like sweeping Kakashi out from under his legs and like beating the shit
Yeah,
out
sure.
of him?
Can
like...
you show me? Can you show me like the panel that you're talking about?
Yeah, I can. Sure.
Yeah, just look at this shit, Noodles and DMs. Like, that fucking kick right there, Kakazu Jin just, like, kick him away and body him. Right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Or how about like here's another way of scaling it. You remember when like Hidan clashes with Kakashi, like they run past each other and clash?
Roughly a little bit, yeah. I
Yeah,
guess.
there's just like a
Oh,
direct
yeah,
scene
we
where
do
they're
need
like
to speed
able to.
this
Can you
up.
like show me though like what you're
All right,
talking
we're gonna
about?
speed up
Yeah, I
the
can't
playback
speak on
speed
that
real
one.
quick, guys. So.
But yeah, you know the statement of like Hidan being the slowest and then Kakashi.
Yeah,
let's
I
go
know.
real
I
quick.
also think that Hidan and Kakazu are clearly relative.
Based on
Because
what?
of let me see. I have a bunch of
Yeah, Sakura tagged
so,
Kaguya,
like,
so she's Otsutsuki level, I guess.
here,
Right?
yeah.
Sakura is just Kaguya speed now.
Shikamaru's controlling Hidan with
And Kakashi dodges.
Yeah, Kakazu dodges, but
While
Hidan
holding
closes the
back.
gap. Oh, okay. No, why would wait? How do you know he's holding back?
Because he's not in his Jiangu state.
Yeah, sure, but I get sure, but in this state, the one that you're talking about is faster than Kakashi. Kakazu is almost tagged by Hidan, and Hidan
He's
closes
not
the
almost
distance.
tagged. He just dodges.
I mean, the distance between them is like Hidan gets closer
Okay,
to
do you
Kakazu,
think,
then
like,
Kakazu gets further away.
Kakashi is like backpedaling faster than Hidan can sprint.
No, he's not.
forwards.
He's not backpedaling fast.
You can
the
see
distance.
on.
I'm literally pulling this up. Hold on. This part makes me so mad when I first listened back to it. When Kakazu was like backpedaling faster than Hidan Shikamaru could sprint forward. And Swag tried saying that he wasn't backpedaling. He was backpedaling. He hits his back against the tree. Like, he was literally just jumping backwards and dodging Hidan. No, could you imagine being so much faster than someone that you can backpedal faster than they can sprint forwards? That's ridiculous. Like, it's not even like close how much difference of a speed there is between them. So, I don't understand this argument. Either way, it's Shikamaru running, but we'll get to that.
On panel, his back is against the wall.
Yeah, exactly, because they were already far apart. It's not like they started in the same space.
something I just
Hold on,
remember,
Kakashi
Noodles.
sees Hidan run.
What's up?
So remember when so when Kakashi stabs through Kakazu, right? He uses like the Raikiri, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the 1,000 chirping birds shit, and like that shit's pretty fucking loud. It's like, why didn't
Yeah, Kakazu didn't hear it then. He literally said he couldn't sense Kakashi when he did that. Like, at all.
It's
Like,
like,
he just
yeah.
didn't sense him. And you know what the Chidori is specifically known for? Being fucking loud. Like, that's its
Yeah.
entire thing, and he didn't hear
Literally
it. So,
called, like,
there's obviously
Chidori,
something more than
1,000
hearing going
chirping
on here.
birds.
Yeah. It sounds like a lightning bolt going off. Like, it's actually loud. And he didn't
Yeah,
hear that either. But we know that, Kakazu was blitzing Kakashi, right? We know he's faster than Kakashi, so... Crazy. Anyway. Let's go back.
Rushing at him. He jumps backward, dodges his shit, and then like is
Yeah,
hit
he
the
jumps
wall.
backward and they move at the same speed.
Yeah, but he dodges. He gets hit by
Yeah,
the
but
wall.
they're
That's the
still
only reason
moving.
to
They're
stop.
still moving.
He's
at the same
jumping
speed.
backwards though. Jumping backwards is not.
Why doesn't he just like fucking
Hold
blitz
on, hold on.
Shikamaru?
Why do you think jumping backwards is the equivalent of sprinting forward?
I'm not,
Can you jump backwards as fast as you can sprint forward?
if you're like a Naruto character, yeah, you can.
No, that's never.
And if so,
ever.
then why didn't he just jump to the side? Like, I don't know.
You know, Naruto characters are also just humans, right? But they have just chakra. Like, they're just, like... The difference is like, between a Naruto character and a human, is one has chakra, right? And they can use chakra to amp their speed, okay? That doesn't mean that they still can run faster forward than they can backwards. Okay, they still can do that because they're amping their speed, but it's all to the same extent. So even though they have like technically different chalk, or they have like chakra or whatever, right? There's like, so just think of it this way: if a normal human got chakra, right, normally they can sprint forward faster than they can backpedal. Okay, and if they got chakra to amp themselves, they're going to backpedal faster, but they're still going to sprint forwards quicker than they can backpedal because they're being amped to the same extent, right? They're being amped at the same rate, so the rate doesn't change. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like the difference between those two things is going to stay the same, even though it's just on a higher scale. There's no difference there. I don't know why Swag thinks that, like, what Naruto characters, if backpedaling was the fastest way to travel, I'm pretty sure that they would have been backpedaling to the War Arc battlefield if they wanted to, you know? Like, they'd have been backpedaling like crazy. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, I wonder what other instances, like, where backpedaling was actually faster than someone full-on sprinting. I want to see what Swag would have brought up if he would have had, like, because he's like, oh well, if you're a Naruto character, you can. It's like, okay, what other instance besides this one Kakuzu instance that, like, he backpedals faster than someone else can sprint?
Yeah, exactly. It's just too weird. It would be too weird of an argument to say that.
Jumping again, like, either way he jumps, it doesn't matter.
And this is also not even like Hidan's speed. This is like Shikamaru's speed because he's like controlling Hidan with Shadow Possession.
Okay, so do you think Shikamaru was slow or something?
Well, that's not my point. My point is that like Kakuzu is relative to like Hidan or like Shikamaru, like at best.
Okay, well if you're
not like faster than
so
Shikamaru.
if it's Shikamaru's speed that's like controlling Hidan, whether it's the shadow, right? Shikamaru doesn't have any like anti feats, like he's super fast.
I mean, like Shikaku says that Naruto's like way out of his league, and if he tried to help against Pain, he just would get in the way. So
yeah, but either way, it might not be due to speed, just because Pain could have just. Like,
so you think that Shikamaru could just go in and like fucking blitz all the paths of Pain?
He'd be able to blitz them, but he wouldn't be able to do shit to them. Like, what would he do? Like.
You think like Shikamaru would go in and just blitz like the fucking 6 paths of Pain?
Bro, Shikamaru has so many good speed feats. He made Hidan look like a fucking retard in their fight. He has crazy speed feats. People don't know how fast Shikamaru is.
The other thing though is that Hidan is like the one who's like moving, right? So like it has to like.
Hold on, you're just arguing Shikamaru.
No, I was saying that
Shikamaru's whole game is being fast and controlling people with shadows because he has to be like maneuverable in order to do that. So, yeah, Shikamaru does actually tend to have pretty good speed feats. His shadows are actually pretty strong, too. He was able to control the Ten Tails for a bit and things like that. So, yeah, he's actually really fucking fast and strong. But the issue is like, he has nothing to stop the paths of Pain, like, at all. So, yeah, even though he is still potentially faster, which I don't think he is. Like, what Swag took this out of context to mean was, I was saying that Shikamaru was slower or was fast enough to blitz the paths of Pain. What I said was it's either that, like he is fast enough to do that, or on the other hand, he's not actually as fast as Kakuzu, which I think is more likely. I think Kakuzu was just holding back during this encounter entirely, so it's just kind of hard to say that anyone there really scales to him. So
that it's at worst at Shikamaru's speed. Or
Yeah,
I guess one way or the other.
It's just like, I think it's funny that just like he only specifically noted on Twitter that you said that Shikamaru would blitz the paths of Pain, but you then literally say it's like, but it's not like Shikamaru could literally do anything to the paths of Pain. Like, what would he even do? And then Swag just went silent and then just continued onward with something else.
Yeah,
it's like you didn't even address this point, bro.
Yeah.
You just pulled like an argument of absurdity. Like, wait, so you believe this shit, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, come on.
It's like, you notice how he didn't acknowledge it either when I said that. I was like, what's Shikamaru going to do to the paths of Pain? And then he just stops talking. Like, I wonder why. Because his argument was, no one in the Leaf Village could handle Pain, right? And he was like, so that would mean that Pain could blitz Shikamaru or react to Shikamaru. Well, that doesn't mean that, because Shikamaru has no ability to handle Pain to begin with. So, regardless of his speed. So even if he is faster than Pain, that doesn't mean he's going to be able to handle Pain. So that statement can still exist without Pain scaling to Shikamaru's speed.
Right? Like it's capped at either one of them, depending on who you
his
think
shadow
is
is what's
faster.
controlling him, so
Yeah. It's capped at one or the other, depending on who you think is faster. Hidan can't move faster than his like fucking. Are you saying that like fucking like Shikamaru's like amping Hidan with shadow possession?
Yeah, he's like controlling his body, bro. Like,
and it's like an amp. Like Hidan would just suddenly be able to move faster. His speed would just.
Honestly, Saucy just brought up a good point in the comments. Funnily enough, but yeah, even if I did just come out and say that Shikamaru just blitzes all of the paths of Pain, just like Minato's them, is like teleporting around the battlefield, like blitzing them all, right? Like even if I did say that, Swag didn't refute it.
Mm-hmm.
Swag doesn't say, oh, that's wrong because of these reasons. He just kind of like laughs it off, like, haha, this guy said Shikamaru is faster than Pain. Okay, what's the debunk?
Literally,
though?
that's what I was literally saying. He just pulled an argument of absurdity, then just continued on with different art.
I'm gonna actually show what an argument from absurdity is, just so people understand what it is. I actually hate these arguments.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, an argument from absurdity. It involves characterizing an opposing argument in such a way that it seems to be ridiculous, or the consequences of the position seem ridiculous. So a common, let's just like look, is basically like where just someone's like, wait, let me see what's with this one.
I can literally just make an example. It's just like you're
right.
literally saying something is so absurd that it's like it has to be wrong.
Yeah, without explaining why. Like you're basically just saying it's absurd. Well, why is it absurd, right? You have to go into the reason as to why it's absurd. You can't just say it's absurd. And that's what he's trying to do here. He's trying to appeal to the population. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is like that's a lot of things that like it's something like that politicians do all the time. Is like, dude, you think this is right? Dude,
wow.
Is this the guy that you want for your president? That's literally what fucking politicians do. Swag is literally arguing like a politician right now. Like he's trying to sway the crowd. He's like, dude, you really want this guy as your fucking Naruto?
Can you believe this guy? Wow. Yeah. Well, what's actually wrong with it, Swag? Like, what's wrong with Shikamaru Minatoing the pads of pain? You know, I don't even think that. But yeah, let's ride that train. Let's just say Shikamaru blitzes and Minato's the pads of pain. Now what, Swag? Like, where do we go from here? Like, I don't think you have a place to go. Because Shikamaru has no anti-feats. He's actually just fast.
It's literally just like the flat earthers being like, dude, you think the earth is round? Wow, bro. It's just like, I can't believe you believe something so absurd. It's like, come on, like, Swag.
It's effective for convincing the normies. Bro. It is effective for convincing normies. Because, you know, that's why people get convinced by politicians too. It is extremely effective for persuading people that aren't into debating or aren't into like actually like trying to judge a position by its reasoning. They're just kind of like vaguely into it. Because what it's appealing to is your emotions. It's not actually appealing to reason. Yeah. It's not a logos-based argument. Logos is like using reason to convince people, right? When I make an argument, there's a few ways of going about it. The main two are pathos and logos. Logos is like appealing to reason and logic, and pathos is appealing to someone's emotion, right? Trying to appeal to them on their emotional side, which is fine. You can totally do that and be super persuasive. You can be a really good speaker by doing that. But it doesn't make your argument strong doing that, right? That's that type of argument from absurdity, argument from incredulity type arguments where you're just doing it to try and appeal to like people's like emotions and humanity and things like that, right? Where like a good example of this is if I were to say that like, you know, what would be, I don't even know a good example of this, like just a pathos argument would be just something that would appeal to your emotions rather than be like logically sound, right? Like I would say that men deserve millions of dollars, right? Or that all people on the planet should have enough money to like live their life the way they want to live it, right? Like, yeah, that's good in sentiment, right? And that sounds really good, and that makes people like, yeah, we all should have the money we want, right? Yeah. But it's not actually an argument. It's not actually explaining anything, or like it doesn't explain like why we should deserve this, or you know, it's just kind of making you feel like, yeah, we should do that, which is good. Like, it is persuasive, but it does not make your argument strong.
You want to know what's funny, Noodles? This just reminds me of when Seth was doing a live stream one time and people were spamming the chat Spencer versus Swagkage. He didn't even say that Spencer would lose. He just said that Swag is really good at convincing the audience that he would win. So
I don't even know if it's necessarily he's even good at convincing the audience that he won. I think he's just got a big enough.
That's what Seth
yeah,
said,
I know.
So
I know. I'm talking from that perspective. I just think that he's good at having a large following. He just has a large following.
True.
People are gonna like his stuff regardless if he says stupid shit or not. Because there's a tons of times in this debate where I feel like he's not being persuasive at all. Like there's just so many moments where he's just saying really like stretched arguments, like he's really reaching for certain positions just to try and get around mine, like the whole Datara not scaling to the three tails and stuff like that. Like that was just really out there, and I didn't think it was persuasive at all, like pathos or logos wise, but because he has a large following, people are gonna slob on his fucking, anyway, so it's whatever. Ethos did get left out, but that's just because it's not as big as the other two. Anyway. If you had some, like, puppet master who's just really fucking fast, like, had wires on your arms, right? Because that's basically what the shadow possession does. Basically, it puts wires on your arms, right? If you had some really fast motherfucker controlling you, yeah, you'd be amped.
That's not the same thing. It just copies, like your
Shikamaru's the one running. Yeah, Shikamaru's the one running, so he's...
Yeah, sure, and also that's actually a bad example, because using wires to control somebody is definitely a lot less efficient than, like,
it is less
yourself.
efficient, I would
so
say.
Then, so then some of Shikamaru's speed would be lost in translation.
No, that just shows how fast Shikamaru is.
I don't even know
he's,
if
like,
that's
fast
true.
enough to almost tag Kakuzu and close the distance between the two of them.
Yeah, jumping backwards Kakuzu. But, like,
then why doesn't he just go, like, Blitz Shikamaru?
Huh?
Why doesn't he just go, like, Blitz Shikamaru?
I don't know. Like, why are you asking me that? Like, what do you mean? Why didn't he?
Like, if he's that fast, like, why doesn't he just go Blitz Shikamaru?
I'm arguing Shikamaru's fast right now. Like, what's wrong with
Faster than fucking Kakuzu?
Not faster. Kakuzu reacts to him.
Well, yeah, sure, but like, I mean, here's another thing. Like the
Yeah,
like,
what's the
reaction
point
doesn't
of
make you,
that?
like, fucking faster. Like B is faster.
What's the
than
I'm not
point?
saying
Sasuke
he's
and
faster.
Sasuke.
I'm just saying that, like,
You
Shikamaru's
literally
not
just
faster.
said not faster. Kakuzu
Yeah, not
reacts to
faster
him.
can be equal too, bro. Like, it doesn't have to be.
So you think that
faster than
Shikamaru
him.
and Kakuzu are like the same
Not
speed?
necessarily, but like, it wouldn't change the argument even if I agree to that. Like, Shikamaru doesn't scale to the pads of pain or anything, so that scaling basically ends for you there. Like, ooh, Shikamaru is relative to Kakuzu now. Now what? Like, so what? Like, it's not like he has any anti-feats. The motherfucker has tons of good speed feats that people just don't talk about. So
you think
Literally,
that
I was just
Shikamaru-
gonna mention this, but
Wait,
luckily
yeah,
you mentioned
it's
it
like-
in the debate.
What?
That it's like, which is like, yeah, like first you have you have Shikamaru who's above the passive pain and speed, and then you have Kakuzu who's above the passive pain in speed, and it's just like, what's the point of even bringing up the fact it's like, well, do you think that Shikamaru can blitz Kakuzu? It's like, why is that relevant? It's like, the debate is Kakuzu versus Pain, and both characters blitz him, like, and you didn't even counter either of those things.
Yeah.
So
It was literally like, well, Shikamaru's faster than Pain. Well, Shikamaru has no scaling to Pain. Or Shikamaru's faster than Kakuzu. Okay, well, Shikamaru has no scaling to Pain, so that doesn't connect them. Okay, like, those two characters just aren't related to each other, basically. You can't say Pain is faster than Kakuzu because Shikamaru reacts to him, because Shikamaru is not relative to Pain. There's nothing to demonstrate there's relativity between those two people. In order to demonstrate that, people would just think, people have this idea in their head because, like, a majorly focused on villain or someone that comes later in the series is just inherently going to be stronger or faster than other people. No, that's not true at all.
I'm pretty sure that's what the truth was trying to say on fucking Twitter. He's just like, it's like, clearly the narrative is supporting that Pain is the one who's stronger than Kakuzu. Because it's like, okay, then then we have characters who like Zabuza and Haku who literally come back in weaker states in the series, and then they're still like, and then you have Haku who's literally still keeping up with Kakashi, who literally has gone through in the fucking war arc, for Christ's sake.
The war arc Kakashi, like, Haku from chapter 1 is keeping up with him while weakened. Like, and that's just the thing. Haku was the earliest villain in the series, besides, like, the Demon Brothers, I guess, and the Ninetales.
Right.
But, like, he's, like, one of the earliest villains in the series and does not have that much focus on him. Like, there's a little bit of focus on him, but not nearly as much as there was Pain. But we're gonna say that Haku wouldn't blitz the pads of Pain? Haku would murder blitz the pads of Pain. He is so much faster than them. He's literally on par with Kakashi and, like, KCM Naruto during the war. That's how fast Haku is. Like, there's like this screenshot. There's this panel in the war arc where War Arc Kakashi is running alongside not only Six Gate Guy, but there's also another panel of him running alongside KCM Minato. Okay? And no one talks about how fast Kakashi is. Kakashi can keep up with Obito. Kakashi is consistently able to keep up with Obito. Are we going to say Obito's not going to blitz the Pads of Pain? The Pads of Pain are like Pain Arc Sage Naruto level. These characters are all way faster. And Haku occurs way earlier in the series, has way less focus on him, yet he's still faster than Pain. Even back then. So, just because a character has a lot of focus and seems like they're a major villain, does not mean their scaling is going to be that high. Again, this is such a normie perspective to have, right? Itachi, right? Itachi has less focus than Pain early on in the series. Are we gonna say Itachi in part 1 wouldn't fucking be able to genjutsu the pads of Pain? No, of course he would. Like, it's just one of those things where people just think that because he comes later and because he has more focus, he's stronger, which is not true at all. And that's just not supported. You actually have to provide evidence for why these characters are this fast or this strong. That's what power scaling is. Surfbone has an entire video on that. Swag is not a power scaler. So.
Also, Sir Vader, I feel like author's intent is the best way to argue for Pain over Kakuzu. Here's the other thing too. How can you judge author's intent? Like, if we're talking about author's intent being like the original thoughts that the author had when he was making the story, it's like, it's like, how, first of all, I would really like you to show me, like, do you have the access to the author's internal monologue? Like, what he was literally thinking as he was writing this shit down? And it's like, even then, like, if you're trying to argue for author's intent, don't we judge author's intent by what was written in the story? Like, isn't that what we're trying to do right now? It's like the author can easily just change his intent later after he publishes his shit. Like, that's literally like
Honestly,
like,
this is a video we're
many
probably
times.
going to end up talking about at some point. You've already kind of, like, talked about it with your gag character video, but...
Right.
This topic is, like, you don't know what the author's thinking when he writes it, so arguing from author's intent is impossible. You don't know what his intent was. Okay?
I'm literally, like, helping, Parrot edit the video for that he...
Oh, yeah, he's doing Death of the Op.
Ooh. Yeah. Parrot's, Parrot has already, like, recorded, the video for Death of the Author, and I'm actually, editing that shit right now. I'm planning on having that shit done before Friday, so.
Okay. Alright, let's get back to this debate, or we're gonna be here forever.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, blitz the pads of Pain.
There's like a scene where like Shikamaru is like directly able to dodge a punch from Kakuzu too, so he is just faster than Hidan and Kakashi. Shikamaru is just a fast motherfucker, and I think
Yeah, he
Hidan's
dodges a
like
punch from Kakuzu when caught off guard, by the way, Phil.
yeah, he's fast as fuck. Like he's
So that should
actually
make him
elusive.
fast, that should make him...
It wasn't actually a punch. I realized this when I look back at it. Kakuzu just swung the suitcase at him, and then just, like, that was it. He just swung the briefcase at him to get him away from Hidan. Like, that's all he did.
Faster than this Kakuzu. If,
Kakuzu
caught off
wasn't
guard.
Kakuzu was not in his Yongu state for one.
Kakuzu was
so.
going all out at that point without being in the Jiangsu
No, he wasn't.
state. Kakuzu
No.
was using all of his, like,
Hold on.
he was trying to kill Shikamaru while in base.
No,
so.
that statement, like Hidan specifically told Kakuzu in that situation to hold back so he could kill them. That's not true at all.
Doesn't
He
mean
actually-
doesn't mean Kakuzu listened.
Yes, it does, because he didn't try. And
Why
kill
would
him.
Kakuzu listen?
He didn't try and kill him.
Okay, let's appeal the possibility. I know I keep pausing it, but let's just appeal the possibility again real quick. Okay, if it's possible Kakuzu is holding back in that instance, right, then you can't prove that Shikamaru is relative to Kakuzu. Easy. Done.
Killed him.
But he did try to kill Shikamaru.
No,
he
he
created a
didn't-
big ass explosion with his punch. That's
Yeah,
fucking
the-
stupid to
the
say
only-
that he wouldn't have killed
Yeah, the
Shikamaru.
only reason he did that was to get Shikamaru away from Hidan so he could fucking hit Hidan and then get.
Oh,
back.
okay, so Shikamaru's not faster than Kakuzu then, and like
Yeah,
he
it doesn't-
actually
it
dodged it. It
doesn't
was just like
change
a diversion punch.
Yeah, like regardless, like it's just like one of those things like Shikamaru is consistently able to like react to these people or whatever. But like even then, like if you want to say Shikamaru is slower than Kakuzu, it's whatever. If you want to say he's relative to Kakuzu, it's whatever. It doesn't help.
I'm
Pain
just
either
saying
way.
like that Hidan is like pressing Kakuzu while he's got like a fucking like Wi-Fi
Literally
connection
doesn't-
between he and Shikamaru.
Hidan's
That's like
What is
pressing
Swag
Kakuzu,
doing?
like driving him backwards. Kakuzu
Hidan
like,
wasn't the one
can't
swinging. It
hit
was
him out of the way.
Shikamaru that was.
And
Swinging.
like, why didn't Kakuzu just try to like fucking block the scythe, like you know, with his like fucking diamond armor? Or
I
whatever?
don't. I'm not in Kakuzu's head, bro. Like I don't know why. Like he could have did that, and maybe he's just holding back because he was kind
I'm
of.
saying it's indicative of the fact that he's just not fast enough to get out of the way of the slowest of Kakuzu.
No, there's
members.
tons of things that I could do to establish fucking Kakuzu above Hidan and shit like that, right? Like I don't have to go down this approach, but it's like, yeah, that in that instance, it's not Hidan swinging, it's Shikamaru. So there's no way you can say, and Kakuzu's jumping back and still avoiding him. So not only
Yeah,
is
but
he using,
Hidan
like,
got closer.
not only is he using.
So the argument I have right now basically has Swag pinned. I'm right. Okay, if you want to say Kakuzu's faster than Shikamaru, fine. Kakuzu's faster than Shikamaru. No problem with that. If you want to say Shikamaru's relative to Kakuzu, fine. No problem with that. That doesn't change the argument. The argument is whether or not Kakuzu's faster than Pain. Shikamaru doesn't scale to Pain, so there's no point in bringing him up. I basically have him nailed to a cross on this point. There's no way he can come back from that. He can't say anything really. He's trying to argue Hidan's relative to Kakuzu right now, which is actually crazy to me, but it's fine. You can argue Hidan's relative to Kakuzu. I didn't think anyone would try and argue that, because, you know, there's that statement that Hidan's the slowest in the Akatsuki or whatever. But, yeah, it's like, whatever.
Like slower movement.
No,
right?
Hidan got closer.
Hidon got closer. It's not Hidon.
To
It's Shikamaru.
Kakazu, yeah, he's a
It's
lot.
Shikamaru. It's not Hidon.
No, I'm saying that Hidon is like the person who physically got closer to Kakazu. Not
Yeah, but the
Shikamaru.
reason he's getting physically closer is because he's being physically manipulated to move that way. It's not him controlling his own body.
Also, wait, hold on. I think I have like something that proves that Shikamaru's not faster than Kakashi, like you said.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on. I know this is something that I've heard brought up before, like that Kakazu was able to like nullify the Raikiri or whatever, but that's actually not. Or, let me find the other page of where Kakazu shoots false darkness, but yeah, Shikamaru's like standing there and like can't react, and Kakashi has to like.
I didn't realize this either in the panel. Swag lied about this. Shikamaru has a scroll up. He does react to the.
Jump in front
He's
of them
already
and block
weakened
What's
by
even-
that point. He's like ran out of chakra.
What's even the instance
Um,
that like he's referring to?
he's referring to when Kakashi blocks the lightning attack with his Raikiri and they like stalemate. So, what happens is Kakazu sends out his false darkness, the lightning bolt attack or whatever, and Shikamaru and Choji like see it, they get freaked out, and Kakashi jumps in front of them and intercepts it. And he's trying to argue Kakashi's like faster than Shikamaru and Choji based on that.
What?
Yeah. But Shikamaru
It's like
does react.
they-
He pulls up a scroll, so he does react to it.
Can you prove that this is like affecting?
But this is after Shikamaru had been like using his shadow possession the entire fight and stated that he was at his limit. So, which I argue.
ability because you just attributed a lot of speed
Hold on.
feats to him when he fought Hidon. So.
He literally says he's weakened before that.
Yeah, and he still kills Hidon.
Okay, yes, that shows you how fucking fast Shikamaru is. Like even weakened. he can
Yeah,
still
you
kill
were
Hidon,
just
but-
saying that he's like faster than Kakashi, even weakened. Like, but
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
you
So
use the
so,
Hidon
okay,
thing as.
so yeah, we could say Shikamaru, Kakashi, and Kakazu are all faster than Hidon. Like that's not weird either. Like I don't know what.
No, but you used as an example to prove that Shikamaru
Yeah, I can
was like
backtrack on
faster
this.
than
Whatever,
Kakashi.
bro. Like I could just say that like what like there's multiple. ways
Also,
to
it's like
interpret this,
Kakashi not weakened here. He's used a shitload of chakra too. His
It's-
fucking
it's just
jacket's
state-
been destroyed.
It's just stated that Shikamaru is.
And like Kakashi
hold on,
like
hold on, hold
blitzes
on, hold
the
on, hold
fuck
on.
out
See,
of
Swag's
it.
doing it again.
Hold on, it's just stated that Shikamaru is
Mhm.
weakened, but like with Kakashi, it's also stated that he's weakened. So at a point in the fight, he's weakened. So yeah, but like regardless, I'm not arguing that like.
And he also comes from like way off panel too. He's like nowhere to be seen, and he just jumps in front of that shit.
Yeah, we don't know
and,
how
like,
far he's
makes
traveling.
two
No, that's just an
Raikiri.
assumption.
It's way off panel. You don't actually know how off panel it is. You can't measure it because it's off panel. Fucking stupid.
Well, hold on, we're not done yet. I haven't even moved off this point yet. You need to quit going ahead.
Okay.
So the
I
argument
said
is,
we didn't know how far it
whether or
was
not
in the debate
Shikamaru
too.
Is like relative to Kakazu, and then you're trying to say Shikamaru is like slower than
Kakashi, yes, to prove
Kakashi,
that Kakazu's not faster
okay.
than Kakashi.
But in
the
this
fight.
instance, Shikamaru is weakened, right?
So is
and
Kakashi.
And it does look like he's reacting. He just doesn't have anything. Like he
He's
pulled out
not
the
able to
scroll.
move out of the way, so.
No, he just doesn't have. Okay, for one, Kakashi is just intercepting it. For one.
Yeah, Kakashi
Um,
just like jumps in front of it from like way the fuck
Yeah,
away.
but he uses the Raikiri to intercept it.
Yeah. How does
Yeah.
that help you? Like he has to charge
Okay.
up 2 fucking Raikiri and then jump all the
I
way
know.
off.
The Raikiri
Raikiri.
amplifies your speed for one. So Raikiri Kakashi.
No, it doesn't.
Is obviously, there's multiple direct statements of that.
Yeah, when you're running, you're moving really fast to me.
What do
Bro, when he said the Raikiri didn't amp your speed, I'm gonna literally look this up in Google. That is
Wow.
Swag reads Naruto apparently, but Raikiri amps. It's literally my first suggestion. Let's read like the first thing. Here, we'll do this one because I know what it says. The Chidori, a super high speed thrust attack where you concentrate your chakra in your hand and release it. It's so fast that it's hard to have accurate aim with it. Not she is so fast, not he is so fast. It is so fast, implying that the Chidori, it has speed. Direct statement. Here's one from Minato, just because that was a Boruto statement. It certainly has destructive power and speed. It certainly has speed and a destruction power, but it makes you move too fast to assert an opponent's counterattack. But apparently it doesn't amp your speed, but whatever. Which he comes back on that, but I don't
think he's doing-
like that. Just shows you Swag's mindset during this debate is not to truth seek. His mindset during this debate is just to win. That's all he's concerned about. He's not concerned about actually trying to figure out what's actually true. He's only concerned about winning, which is so just it's just it makes me feel like he's a gremlin. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple direct statements of that.
Yeah, when you're running,
One.
to charge
Okay.
up 2 fucking Raikiri and then jump all the
I
way
know.
off.
The Raikiri
Raikiri.
amplifies your speed for one. So Raikiri Kakashi.
No, it doesn't.
Obviously, there's multiple direct statements.
Yeah, when
What?
you're running, you're moving really fast to make.
What do you think he's doing? You said he ran off screen.
No. Hold on. Kakashi uses the Raikiri without running. But okay, actually, if you want to say that this is like a speed amp,
Yeah, it's like the right here. There's tons of statements. The right here, amping.
I'm like Pain like no diff reacts to this like speed amped Kakashi. So
I'm aware. But like the argument is whether or not Shikamaru is weakened, right? And we know he's weakened. So the issue is like how weakened is Shikamaru in this instance? You can't say that Kakashi's faster than him because we don't know the extent.
Then I guess
of
it's irrelevant and it's an unquantifiable amount.
Exactly.
So it doesn't really matter. And Kakashi's still clearly faster than Shikamaru. So
faster than unquantifiable.
I mean, can you show me the statement of Shikamaru?
So Swag basically just admitted that he can't prove Kakashi's faster than Shikamaru. So his entire
Also-
scaling about this entire Shikamaru point we've been going on for 30 minutes, he basically just admitted he can't get past it. Like he literally just said his only scaling for Shikamaru's speed was to put Kakashi above him. Okay, he tried to scale him to Hidan, or he tried to say Hidan was relative to Kakuzu. I countered that by saying it's not Hidan attacking, it's Shikamaru physically manipulating him. So he moved on to say Kakashi was faster than Shikamaru, and then he just admitted it's possible that Shikamaru is weakened. Okay.
Also, just two things. So one, it's funny that he thinks that the save mode amps your combat speed when there's no statement for that. But then he also thinks that the Chidori and Raikiri doesn't amp your speed when there's multiple statements for that.
I think he does think it increases your speed while running. He says that after, but it's he initially said no, right? Which is kind of
right.
He's not refuting me based on what he knows. He's refuting me just for the sake of refuting me to try and win.
Right.
That's what he's doing. So
also,
Saiboshi
really said,
"What's up?"
Saiboshi said he's making some pizza right now for the boys.
Oh, you gonna pop on over? Sausage and pepperoni? I don't like sausage. I like pepperoni, but no sausage. I'm tired of pizza. Anyway.
That's right.
Weekend.
You
When does
already
it?
acknowledge that you know it exists. Why do I need to grab that for you?
No, because I want to see it exactly.
Yeah, I can find it.
I'm surprised I found the scan so quickly. I didn't think I knew where it was.
His ass.
Oh, basically, we'll just have an unquantifiably weakened chicken.
I'd have to listen to for this long. That shit was ass.
Is that Carthu?
Debate if that was.
Bro,
Was
I
that
just joking.
Carthu?
I'm sorry.
I would have refused to judge this debate if that was gonna be the mic I'd have to listen to for this long. That shit was ass.
It is Carthu.
Whose mic is he
So,
referring to?
when
by
I
the
find
way?
this
I'm referring to my car
basically, we'll
mic.
just have an unquantified
Oh, your
weakened
car mic.
Shikamaru right, and then you won't be able to establish Kakashi's faster. Is that how this argument will flow?
Well, I don't know about that. It depends on what Shikamaru says exactly.
He just says I'm almost at my limit or something like that.
That doesn't mean he's weaker.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes,
It means
does.
he's trying as hard as he possibly can. That doesn't mean he's
No,
weaker.
he's talking about
That is a huge leap. That does not mean he's weaker.
No, he literally says right here. I found it, but he says right here, my shadow is at its limit and it begins to come back into his body.
Yeah, because Shadow Possession has a time limit.
Yeah, because
And,
he
a
ran out of
range limit.
chakra.
Sure, but we've already established that shouldn't really have anything to do with how fast you can move. You
Yes,
said
it
so
does.
earlier.
Hold on,
No, it doesn't.
Hold on. I did say that chakra doesn't necessarily affect how well you can heal or whatever, but it definitely can affect.
No,
how
you
fast
said that
run.
if Naruto's out of chakra from using a billion shadow clones and spamming the Rasengan and Rasen Shuriken all day over 3 days, then
No,
that
I'm saying
shouldn't
that
affect his
won't hurt
movement
him.
speed.
No, I'm saying that.
I didn't say that. What I said was him
No.
using chakra doesn't necessarily mean that he's weakened. Okay, so he's strawmanning here because Naruto still clearly had chakra when he fought Kakuzu. He's throwing multiple Rasen shurikens. He's summoning multiple shadow clones. Right? He's clearly not out of chakra. But with Shikamaru, he is out of chakra. So those two arguments don't coincide with each other. Again, Swag is just being super disingenuous. He's just strawmanning me.
It won't hurt him physically.
Bro.
Yeah, but you also said it shouldn't affect his movement speed.
No, I never said that.
So it should
affect
affect his. So he should be slower then.
No, that's just, you'd have to actually prove that he is out of chakra in this instance.
I never said that he's out of chakra.
Okay,
but
so Swag,
you
here's
have
the
to prove that
argument. Hold on, Swag, hold on.
Shikamaru's not.
So Swag,
Oh, no.
Swag doesn't understand what I'm getting on him for. Let me clarify this. So the argument flows like this. Swag is saying, okay, chakra doesn't affect your movement speed. Okay, I argue it does because even Genin can put chakra in their legs. It's stated during the tuning exams, the first part of the tuning exams, that people Genin can put chakra in their legs to amp their movement speed. They can just do that. It's kind of like a shitty body flicker. That's what Swag was referring to earlier too. That shitty body flicker. That's what it is. It's they can put chakra into their legs to make them move faster, right? So running out of chakra can totally dampen your movement speed. Okay, that's true. What's not true is Naruto's not out of chakra. So Swag is saying, oh, well, you argued because Naruto, or when I argued Naruto had used chakra earlier, that he would be out, that wouldn't affect it, that would affect his movement speed, and you said no. I never said Naruto using chakra wouldn't affect his movement speed. I said Naruto being out of chakra would affect his movement speed, but he's not out of chakra, so that argument doesn't flow.
Out of chakra. I never said that he's out of chakra.
Okay,
but
so Swag, here's the argument.
Shikamaru's not out of chakra though. Shikamaru's not out of chakra.
Here's the argument. I'm just gonna show you how that flowed, right? You started this argument by saying you said it would decrease his movement speed. I responded by saying no, I never said that. I only
By
said
being lower on.
Hold on, I'm not done.
No, you're misrepresenting what I'm saying.
You just contradicted the fuck out of yourself. I'm
No, I
calling you out
didn't.
for it
No,
right
I
now.
didn't.
Let me
No, I
explain. Let me
didn't.
explain. I can literally tell you how you did right now.
Okay, sure, yeah, go for
I
it.
just asked you, right, where I just told you as soon as you said that I said being out of chakra makes your physical movement speed go lower. I said no, I never said that. I only said it that they wouldn't be physically damaged from the chakra.
No, I said
So
having less
device.
chakra. I didn't say being out of chakra. So.
Having less chakra, being out of chakra, it functions the same in the argument.
No, not really. They're completely different.
Not in this case, but either way.
I mean, yeah, they are.
So, yeah, because the reason people get slower is because you know how like in part 1 how they can put chakra into their legs and make themselves run faster and shit.
Yeah, and you're saying that that's why Shikamaru's slower.
Yeah, he's out of chakra, bro.
Except he's not because he uses Shadow Possession on Hidan later and like
Yeah, he
maintains it.
He gets some chakra back, right?
So like, I don't know. That seems like a really fucking weird claim to make because you can't.
Notice how Swag just said he's not out of chakra because he uses Shadow Possession later. Keep that in mind, because he's arguing Shikamaru is not weakened here.
Really prove that he's out of
Why
chakra.
why else would a shadow?
So why doesn't he have chakra back by the time Kakazu launches False Darkness?
He just doesn't use shadow possession at that point. We just don't know if he's full power.
Yeah, sure. Like, and we also don't know if he's like full power when he like Shadow Possessions Hidan, but he's not out of chakra.
Hold on. We don't know if
You
he's
have to
at full
prove
power.
that he's out of chakra at this point. It's
We
just
don't-
because the Shadow
we
Possession
don't know
has
if
like, a time limit.
we don't know if he's at full power or at full speed here, and because we don't know that, there's no way you can claim that Kakashi intercepted.
I think it's pretty likely that his speed is not. I think
you're
it's
not
pretty
demonstrating that, so we can
likely
move on
that.
from this point. I'll leave that.
I mean, I'm just saying you haven't demonstrated that like he is weaker and like less fast. So you're
yeah,
just saying that he
so-
said his Shadow Possession's at its limit, which I
Okay,
mean,
so
like, hey, he still used it
here's
later,
an
so he's not
argument,
out of
here's an
chakra. And you also said that
Here's an
chakra has
elaboration.
nothing to do with
Here's
your
an
physical
elaboration.
speed.
Here's
So
an
I mean,
elaboration. And stop shotgunning. You're saying multiple points.
I
Here's an
mean,
elaboration.
whatever.
You remember when Shikamaru in part 1 like had to fight those random ninja?
like
it's-
the
during
ones from
Konoha
like the
Crush?
sound or whatever, yeah.
From the Konoha Crush. No, it was just those Jonin that were attacked, or those Jonin from the
Those were Sound Ninja, yeah.
I thought he said
Oh, yeah, I
Sand
guess they
Ninja.
were. Yeah, during that he specifically says he's out of chakra, and that's when his shadow comes in. So because of that, we know it's to deal with chakra. And that makes
No.
sense. Yes, he specifically attributes chakra as the reason his shadow.
No,
comes
that could be a cause, but that's not what he says here. So, I mean,
What?
Bro.
Wait.
What? I just noticed this one.
Why did he? Oh my lord! Wow.
Yeah, so Shikamaru's like, I'm out of
Wow.
chakra, and his shadow comes back in, and then Swag's like, no, his chakra's not out here. His shadow just has a time limit. What you mean, Swag? Like the reason his shadow stops working is because he doesn't have enough chakra to maintain it. It makes perfect sense. Whatever though.
Okay.
that's actually kind of, what you just said kind of proves that he
I
might not
want
be
to
out
move
of
on to
chakra.
this. You're being dishonest now.
I'm not being dishonest.
Yes, you are. Bro.
Shikamaru's not out of chakra because he uses chakra later to fucking shadow possession he's on and maintains it for so long.
He's so
I'm
bad.
fucking carrying like all the way back to the and actually this
Stop.
actually hold on.
You're
As a
shotgunning
matter of
again.
no, I'm not shotgunning you.
You just made a point. Let me
Oh my
respond.
God,
to
you
it.
just said to move on
You just made a
from
point.
it.
No, you just made a point.
Oh my
let me
God, okay.
respond.
Yeah,
I
sure.
said that, then you made a point.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, so for
I'm
one,
getting so
he uses
antsy 'cause
chakra
it's
early
making
in
me
your time
mad.
period. No chakra passively regenerates over time. That doesn't debunk that he's out of chakra in this instance. And because we know chakra is the factor
So
that
he could have
causes
done it
shadow
back at the
possession-
time that fucking Kakashi.
I'm ready to move on, dude. You're annoying.
Well, I was also
You're just
fucking,
annoying.
no, I was also gonna say he was able.
Bro, he literally interrupted me midway. I'm just like, no, I'm done. Move on. Like, I'm so mad. Like, I was just so irritated with how he was debating. Like, I was just like, okay, we know chakra passively regenerates over time, so him using chakra later does not demonstrate that he's that he's not out of chakra in this instance. And then he's just like, no, he interrupts me. I'm just like, all right, never mind. Fuck it. Like, let's move on.
being fucking dishonest.
Yeah, I'm not being dishonest. Yes, he is. If Swag genuinely thinks that Dater doesn't scale to the Three Tails, or that Kakazu wasn't holding back despite not using his strongest form, or that Shikamaru wasn't out of chakra in those instances, then he is being dishonest. I almost 100% guarantee he doesn't believe these positions. There's no way he believes these positions.
This is
I'm
relevant
pretty
to
sure,
what
like,
you said earlier
like
about like the
Swag-
fucking distance.
I'm pretty
between,
sure, like,
like
six-
the training field
wait,
and like
pause
this
this again?
battlefield.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, didn't we saw like the DMs of Six literally telling Swag to debate a certain way, like basically like try to put in points while he's while he's like looking for a scan or something. So
Six
he has like a
was basically encouraging him to debate me in a way that was just aggressive to try and like, instead of like just trying to like come to a genuine conclusion about things, he wanted to throw me off. He wanted like Swag to debate me, like basically to try and like make me not at 100%. He wanted him to like anytime I try making a point, he wanted him to be like aggressive and try to out-aggress me. He wanted him to like when he was looking for scans, not let me make a point or anything, just like tell him to wait, just like throw me off. Like he was basically trying to help him win in ways that weren't just making strong arguments, if that makes sense. So I honestly do think he is just genuinely being like disingenuous.
Obviously, it's not
Yeah,
like that big
because
because
again-
Shikamaru.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I just hate this form of debating, man. I just want, like, if I'm gonna debate someone, I just want to, like, I want to actually come to a conclusion and consensus on whether or not these characters are stronger than the other. It's like, if you're literally just trying to get the W, it's just like, fuck off, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, why do you? It's like, why do you want to just like talk to me in this form, like just this completely dishonest manner? It's just like,
and don't get me
you don't want to
wrong.
have a genuine.
I do think it is gratifying to win, and I do like winning debates, but it's definitely not the most important reason why we're here and why we're debating about it in the first place, right? Like, I don't, like, if I lose, who cares? It's whatever, bro. I lose to people all the time, like, believe it or not. Like, I'll lose random debates to random people in the street just because I said something stupid, you know? Like, it's not, I'll lose to people on Discord, I'll lose to not, even when I'm, like, not trying to lose, right? Like, losing a debate does not matter, okay? It's not the end of the world. The important stuff is just trying to figure out like what's actually true. So
Yeah. Like people again, it's just like people earlier in the chat were just only caring about whether or not the judges said that Swag won. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter because Swag won. It's like, fuck, I don't care about like the W, bro. Like, it's like you just are just throwing that aside and like not even looking at the arguments being presented by both sides. You're just caring about who got the dub, who said who got the dub. It's
yeah.
like,
I don't
do
care
you
who
think
wins.
you won?
Yeah,
it's like
I haven't cared who
Yeah.
won in like so long. Like it's like I used to like when I was like 15 when I first started debating like on Discord, right? I wanted to be recognized as like a good debater, but I'm already recognized as a good debater now, so I have nothing left to strive for. So it's like I don't have any reason to like even care if I win or not. Like it is a good thing. It is a good look for me if I win, right? But even then it's still not that important. Like I'm just here to debate. Like I like talking about Naruto. So that's the reason I'm here, is because I wanted to talk to Swag, who has a big following. I wanted to get some exposure. Like, that was a reason I wanted to debate him. But really, other than that, nothing. So, it's just one of those things.
Saucy being a bitch in chat. Not gonna
Well,
lie to us. I feel like that's bullshit. Pretty sure you value winning pretty hard. It's like,
Well, good luck pointing
No.
out a single time where I've ever said I valued winning more than I valued truth seeking. You never will be able to point to that. Because in the last, like, year and a half, when people ask me, yeah, I always look to truth seek. I don't care about winning. It's not that important to me. I don't care about Discord clout or YouTube clout. I don't care about that. It's not important. People that do care about that are just not arrogant, but like what would be a good way to describe them? Either way, you know what I mean. Like just
prideful.
Yeah, just overly like into themselves, you know, like they just only care about their self-image. They're too invested in themselves.
Yeah, it's just also like it's really funny because most like a lot of the people that come to Noodles' server just like, do you just like Kakuzu for some reason? Is that why you're trying to argue him above pain? It's like
I tell
if you
people
know
every time.
Noodles, like yeah, if you know Noodles ever since back in Seth's old server, he was always known as the guy who loathes over fucking sorcery all
Toby
all
Rama.
day.
Saucer and
fucking
Toby Rama
Toby
were my
Rama.
mains. I love Saucer and Toby Rama. I love them more than I love Kakuzu. I like Kakuzu. I don't love Kakuzu. I like Kakuzu.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those characters that like are cool, but I'm not arguing he's this high because he's cool. I'm arguing he's this high because of actual intricate scaling that I like to look into. That's the reason I argue this, is because I like to power scale. So, Toby Rama is dope as shit, and I can't wait to make a video on him. So, anyway, let's continue this.
Fucking distance like between like the training field and like this battlefield. Obviously it's not like that big because Shikamaru is able to take Hidan all the way back to the Leaf Village to the Nara clan estate while maintaining the shadow possession that he like ran out
This
of
got
here.
stupid
So Naruto
views.
didn't travel very far. So like he probably didn't have that much time to recover his chakra. So yeah, I'd say it's safe to say that he's pretty fatigued.
You just don't know. Like the argument.
Yeah,
is,
just like you don't know whether or not
you don't know how
Shikamaru is
fast.
at full
You don't know
power
how
here.
fast Naruto was running. You don't know if like they're.
So you don't know if Kakazu blitzed a full power Naruto or if he got hit by a full power Naruto.
I do know
Yeah,
that
exactly.
in that.
No,
case,
no, no,
Naruto-
exactly.
hold on.
If you can't say that Kakashi moved faster than Shikamaru in that panel, you can't
All
say
right,
that Kakazu is faster
we'll
than
take
full
the speed
power
argument a
Naruto.
different approach for the base Naruto stuff then. But I will still argue that like we do know that Naruto is consistently able to perform big jutsu, where Shikamaru's not even able to perform his basic jutsu. So I think it's
Kind
much
of
more
irrelevant to
likely-
their speed.
It's much more. No, it is relevant because if they're able to use, like, if Naruto's able to use those like monstrous fucking techniques or whatever, right? It's likely that he's also still using his basic ass fucking chakra in the legs shit, right? Like his entire strat.
I mean,
is literally
Shikamaru
to
is still
speed-
fucking doing that. Hold on.
Shikamaru's not doing that. He does that later.
He doesn't. So let me be clear about
I
one
like
thing.
the
He
argument
says
I
that his
made
shadow
here.
Possession's at his limit, which means he could have stopped using it before he completely ran out of chakra. If that's what you're saying the conditions are for being out, like, you know, not having like any fucking movement speed amps or like whatever. So I think it's pretty likely that he stopped like before he completely ran out of chakra. Especially because Kakashi says if you like run out of chakra, you like die or whatever. So
Do we
Yeah, he
want to
probably
let
has some
Saiboshi in
minute
here?
amount left, but like I said,
he
like,
probably has enough to still,
not enough to
like,
maintain the
move,
shadow
not, like,
possession. So that which is
yeah,
like,
and then
his
he like
basic
gets it
attack.
all back. He gets it all back like 5 minutes later. So
We don't know how long it is, so you can't.
yeah,
say.
and you also don't know how long the fucking like exchange between Naruto and Pain was before Pain got his power back, and you're acting
I
like it
do
wasn't
actually
that
know how long
so
that is. I could quantify how long their punches are. Like it's not hard.
There's some other
11,
stuff that
11
happens
pages. You know how
before
easy that is.
punches.
Like
Yeah, but
literally
they're
swapping
also
hands on.
yeah,
page,
but
like,
they're
it's not
but you
long.
can't quantify how long, for example, the clone summoning takes. You can't quantify the travel speed of the
I
Rasen
actually
Shuriken.
can quantify that. I can quantify.
You can't quantify the
I
travel
can
speed of the
quantify all of
Rasen
those, bro.
Shuriken.
How are you saying I can't quantify?
You
I
can't
can quantify all of them.
Let me finish. You can't quantify the speed it takes the King of Hell to survive one of the pains, etc., etc. Like
Yeah, I can. It's literally.
He's like,
it's
yeah,
literally
let me
easy to do.
finish my
So,
shotgun real quick.
The way
Noodles.
you would quantify the Rasen Shuriken speed, there's tons of feats for it, like running alongside what the fuck was it ran alongside Laser Circus at one point, right? So that means it's at least light speed and travel speed. So because it can move alongside.
yeah, but do you
Laser
know it's
Circus-
like moving at the same speed now as it was like then?
Why wouldn't it be?
Because like Naruto got stronger, can throw it harder. Like you don't know.
You think his like arm is what's making it? I mean, possibly, but I don't think it'd
Yeah.
be significant.
I mean, but it could be right. Like you don't know.
Oh, this epistemic humility shit is getting on my nerves. But yeah, anyway, yeah. So the argument goes like this. Basically, I know I keep saying that, it's annoying, but yeah, the Rasen Shuriken is also shown to like there's tons of feats for it. It's shown to like move alongside that fucking one puppet jutsu or whatever. That's another good one. Puppet jutsu generally able like it's from Sorcery's puppets, so Sorcery's puppets are able to like tag people like Chio and like Bonzo and motherfuckers like that. So probably light speed again. Like at bare minimum, like even like in a normal fight, those like in the UFC, like over that time span of the amount of strikes they threw and shit like that, like that would have only been like a few minutes, right?
1 second, I'm reading the chapter real quick. Also, doesn't Shikamaru's Shadow Possession have like a stated time limit? Like not like even chakra related, just like
No, it's always directed at chakra. Every time they talk about it, it's literally because of he says my chakra and shit, like every time. Like
let me see.
I'm gonna add Saiboshi to the call really quickly.
Oh,
He wants to join.
we're
so
gonna get Saiboshi in
we
here.
have a guest
hell yeah.
appearance on the screen. Hold on. Let's go ahead and join that call real quick. Welcome to the stream, Saiboshi.
It's the legend.
It's-
Me.
Hell yeah!
All
In
right.
comes Saiboshi.
All right, I figured you'd have some pretty interesting insight for this, so I'm bringing you on too. You're part of the
Noodles,
squadron
you're
now.
fucking Spurg. I just like come back and like get my pizza, and you're just like, I can quantify them all.
He was saying I couldn't. I'm like, I can though. Like it can't be that long because they're fighting on panel when we see it, right? So it's like every strike that they throw, like for one, they're already like superhuman. But even if we assume they're just like regular humans, right? Like a UFC fight, only like just like a round in a UFC fight, they threw more strikes in a round, and that's only 5 minutes. You know, like so. It's just crazy to me to assume that these superhumans would be moving slower than like normal ass like UFC fighters. Which not that they're normal. They're not normal for like us, but like comparatively to like Naruto characters, which are like massively hypersonic even in part 1. It'd be really weird to assume it was like a significant period of time. But yeah. Anyway.
All right, we're gonna get back on this.
Yeah.
Oh,
let me go ahead and switch
are you watching a? Oh,
I'm about
pull
to-
that
there
up.
we
I was
go.
like, I was wondering where I was gonna watch the video at.
Yeah, we were going to
Alright.
stream it. Are you caught up on the argument so far? Or are you just coming in blind?
You're gonna turn on the display
I've heard-
capture now.
I've heard like the last 15 minutes of this.
Okay. You're coming in blind, but don't worry. You can just give your input as we go.
Noodles, the display capture's not on.
What do you mean the display capture's not on?
Like
Use
the
this.
on the live live
Oh
stream.
yeah, thank you.
I'm
about that.
also watching the stream on another, and it's just a full black screen. So
All right.
I just saved the stream again.
Yeah.
Sir Bone saving the stream.
You're still a villain. All right, you guys ready?
No, I'm not.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Very entertaining.
Are you ready for the big boy Kakuzu speed argument after this? We're about to go hard in the paint, Swag.
Yeah.
1 second. Shikamaru still like jumps back using like a chakra amp jump like right after this happens. So
Does it say it's shock ramp, or are you just saying?
I mean like Nino and Choji do it, and it's like way fucking like bigger than like a regular like jump. So
I mean, a regular jump in comparison to who? Like normal humans? Like, these motherfuckers are trained ninja that have super physiology.
also it's like Shikamaru like literally like a chapter after he says his shadow possessions it does it on Hidan. So like
I probably shouldn't even acknowledge this guy, but let me just clarify in chat really quickly. I have Seth on recording saying to me that none of them were going to give Swag like strong arguments. Like basically Six, Jaja, and Seth, basically him admitting that none of those guys were going to give Swag strong arguments. And then I have a screenshot of Seth literally telling Swag to give, or literally telling Six to give Swag all of his strong arguments. No, it wasn't just some BS like, I only said it was me that wasn't going to give him strong arguments. Like, even if you want to look at it that way, Seth told me he specifically gave Six to Swag to amp him, right? So if Seth's saying, like, I'm not going to give him strong arguments, I'm going to give someone, and then just going ahead and, like, getting someone else to give Swag strong arguments, it's still kind of like a loopholey, disingenuous thing either way. And he never told me that, right? He never once said, hey, Six and Jaja are going to amp Swag with all of their strong arguments. This debate might not have even happened if he would have told me that. So either way, he's still being super shady about it. But that's not the reason everything went down either. There's like tons of reasons why it went down. But that's all I'm going to say about the drama. Anyway, though.
like it's like
For another
I don't
day.
even know if it's a full chapter. Hold on. And like this is after he also like throws like the blade and starts doing all this complex crazy shit, and then like jumps up to like punch Hidan in the face. So he's still like moving at full speed and it's fine.
The argument that you're making right now is that he uses shadow possession like at a later point in the chapter.
No, like
in the next
right
chapter.
after, yeah, pretty much like right after all this shit happens. So it doesn't say anything about like my chakra's back or like I was out of chakra so I couldn't before, but like
Okay.
I mean I don't really feel like it's like reasonable to assume that he was out of chakra so his speed was nerfed. So I think yeah, Kakashi was moving faster than Shikamaru there. Who was like able to
And
force
how
Kakuzu back into a
many
shape.
pages later is it when he does that?
Let me see. So it's 1, 2, 3.
Just going quiet now.
Yeah, it's scan searching
It's
time.
19.
That's all it
says
is.
He's gonna go after Hidan, and it's like
fine.
21 when he like starts doing it. So
Okay. We can just move on from this point then. I think we've beat it enough, right?
sure.
Okay. So I think the next major speed argument I want to make for Kakuzu. I think I should talk a little bit more about AP, but I'll get to that later. No, I don't need to right now. Let's just do speed. Let's finish speed. So you're aware of like the KCM scaling for Kakuzu, presumably?
Yeah, and I disagree with it. I don't think Yugito scales because like
Yugito.
what is the other KCM scaling?
So you're have you seen the scans of like Kakuzu like running alongside Itachi and stuff like that?
Yeah, that doesn't matter at all. Itachi doesn't have his Sharingan active, and they're just staying in formation. So.
Base Itachi's still able to react to Killer B.
No, he's got his Sharingan active.
I'm pretty sure he is based.
No, he's got a Sharingan active.
Either way, he's still able to physically move alongside them, and the base Sharingan doesn't increase your physical movement speed. It only increases your
Why?
reaction speed. Because when Lee fought Sasuke in part 1, he was only able to see the attacks. It wasn't actually enhancing his physical movement any. It was directly stated.
No, it does. Like Sasuke is able to use the Sharingan to dodge the Raikage.
Yeah,
and
dodging. Dodging attacks and actually.
At literally like point blank range.
Yeah, dodging attacks and dodging attacks and actually attacking are two separate things. So if you can't see an attack, you're not going to be able to dodge it at point blank range, right? But because he can see it, he can dodge it at point blank range.
Like he literally like leaps over B thanks to the Sharingan.
Yeah, I know. But B is still like able to.
Also, that
base,
just
right?
because he's moving next to Itachi in one panel, that doesn't.
There's
mean
multiple panels of him doing it actually.
Well, okay, yeah.
I'll
Show all the panels of him moving next to Itachi to stay in
you-
formation for
you
the
guys
sake of
have-
convenience.
Jaja and 6, do you guys have that on hand by chance?
I will say this is probably my weakest speed argument of the entire debate. But the reason I even brought this up, right? Because there's no point in me not bringing it up, basically. Because even though it's a weak argument, right? If it works, it works. So, like, I do think it is probable Kakuzu is on this level. So I do actually genuinely believe Kakuzu is as fast as Itachi and Casey and Naruto, right? So I'm not like going against my truth-seeking claim earlier, but it is still a weak argument because like it is kind of hard to prove that he isn't holding back or anything. So I will say Swag did do a good job of remaining neutral on this point, but it doesn't matter anyway because the strategy here, because I already knew it was a weak point anyway, but it was like the strategy here is if it works and Swag gets beaten by this point, all right, if Swag gets beaten by this point, then I have Kakuzu at KCM, Naruto, and Itachi level and speed, okay? If he does win the point, though, if he does, like, beat me on it, I'm still at the same place I was. I don't actually lose anything. So it's just worth it for me to make it regardless. So I'm just going to let the point play out, though.
There's just the instances where Kakuzu's, like, moving next to Itachi.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's, like, 2 or 3. He's carrying Nagato, too.
Are you implying that's like a nerf? Because I feel like that's kind of unquantifiable.
It's not much of a nerf. They're fucking
Yeah.
beast-ass ninja. You think, like,
Yeah.
Nagato's weight is going to fucking...
Yeah, I was
he's
about to say, I was gonna be like, I don't know.
Frail-ass old man is going to slow him down. Like, this motherfucker lifted up Choji. Like, I'm not worried about Nagato. I just thought it was kind of funny that he's carrying Nagato. Not that one, the other one, 6'2".
It's all fun and games until he trips over and
He just shows
falls.
him running again, but...
I don't have that one.
Do you have it, Jaja?
No, I don't want any parts in the scaling.
I'm sorry, I found this one.
Yeah, that's the only one I've seen.
Notice how the judges are like, I don't want any part of my scaling. You know, I didn't notice that until now, but like, which I already kind of knew that they were against the whole Kakuzu greater than pain stuff anyway. So, probably not a smart idea to accept these guys as judges, but I did, so it's fine. I didn't accept them after I found out they were cheating, but either
Yeah,
way.
I don't think it implies anything.
Yeah, it just shows that like Kakuzu has relative travel speed to Itachi at least.
I mean, Itachi might not be moving at full speed.
I think he is, because at this
Why?
point, this is the same page where like Kabuto like shuts off their emotion and stuff, and he's like physically making them travel. But
But that
don't
doesn't
have
mean
any
they don't
capability
have to. They don't have to act at full power when Kabuto gives them in order to.
No, they don't have any choice in the matter. This is when
Yeah,
he
no, but
shuts
they
their
don't. I
emotion
mean, Itachi doesn't activate his Mangekyo, which does make him faster. So.
off. What proves that the Mangekyo makes you faster?
What do you mean?
Like the only
This
statements
is
I've ever
Six's
seen about
argument.
Sharingan the Mangekyo are enhancing its senses and reaction. That's what I was talking about earlier. What actual proof is there that it enhances physical movement?
Like when Karin states that like when Sasuke has his Mangekyo active, that his chakra is more intense than like the fucking CS2.
Having more intense chakra doesn't mean you're faster.
Yeah, it does because you use chakra to move.
No, but that's not true. You also use
on,
your
let me see.
physical stamina to move and stuff.
So are you saying that like MS Sasuke doesn't scale to CS2?
I don't know what
Like
you
he'd
mean
like
by CS2.
lose to CS2?
What's CS2?
Curse state 2.
Um,
You think like
at,
Curse
at the
state
time
2 is
he's-
like faster than him?
at the time that Sasuke fights B, there's like a direct statement that heavy Sasuke is stronger than him. So
Can you show me that statement?
you
I'm
have
also
that one
talking
six.
about 5 Kage Summit when like Sasuke hasn't done any
5
training.
Kage Summit is probably stronger, but that's just
Yeah, because of the Mangekyo. No, he hasn't been training. He's been recovering from fighting B.
Oh yeah, he recovered from fighting B and the Donzo or whatever. But either way, like him getting like I don't think he's
So he
like,
just got a Mangekyo amp, so he was faster.
I don't
mean,
think he's faster in that instance,
in
though.
any case, this is like
What
Itachi
actually
doesn't.
makes you
No,
faster?
let me finish. Even if the Mangekyo doesn't make you faster, Itachi doesn't have his MS active, so he's not using his full power. Right? He's not using his full abilities. He's holding
Who doesn't?
back.
Who doesn't have what?
His MS, like Mangekyo active, so he's not using his full power.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait, I just realized something. You remember earlier in the conversation when we were talking about Kakuzu and how he wasn't in his strongest form, and Swag was like, yeah, he's not
Yeah.
actually holding back, but now he's arguing Itachi's holding back because he's not using his strongest form.
Damn.
Man, Swag,
Fuck, bro.
you are so disingenuous, bro. He's literally just arguing to argue.
the-
He's not arguing the truth.
Yeah, he's just debate googling right now, literally. It's just like, and again, this is fucking like, this is what like the shit that Six brought up in your debate, Noodles, is like that the Mangekyo amps your physical movement speed. But it's funny that he didn't bring up like the exact statements that he uses. So he uses like an even worse argument that it's like, oh, it's more that like Karin said that Sasuke's chakra was way more intense in this one instance when he was using the Mangekyo. It's just like, what does that have to do with speed?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean that is what Noodle said too. You know?
Yeah. So, anyway, let's continue.
He's holding back. Like if they
I'm
get
just talking about
ambushed.
speed right now.
Yeah, he might not be using his full speed. Why would he be using his full speed if he's not using the Mangekyo?
So he doesn't have to use the Mangekyo to use his full speed. And it's
Yeah,
also,
but what
like,
I'm
not his
saying is
choice.
he doesn't have to be using his full speed just based on like the order he was given because, like I said, he's not using his Mangekyo.
Yeah,
And like
okay, so-
when he fights Naruto and B, he doesn't use his
Kabuto-
Mangekyo either. So.
Kabuto has to command them to use their abilities, basically, right?
Yeah, Kabuto doesn't command him to use.
Yeah,
his
he doesn't
full
use.
speed.
He doesn't command him to use the Mangekyo, but he does command him.
No,
to
he just gives them a blanket command of like do what, like just go get like.
No, in the
Jutsu or,
instance
like,
of
whatever.
like Nagato and Itachi, he was actually directly controlling them during their fight and everything.
No, he wasn't. Not at first. No,
Not at first?
no. Yeah, he took. Like, so he wasn't controlling them at this point either. He took them over. They were on like autopilot. He took them over after Itachi broke free with Kodo Matsukami.
He took them over. Is that like when this happens?
No, that's way after this. He takes Nagato
this is like,
over.
This is like the beginning of the war, isn't it? But,
Yeah, so
let me
they're
see
on
if I can find the panel.
autopilot now, and
me see if I can find
so
the
they're
panel.
not moving at the same speed.
No, I don't think that just them being on autopilot doesn't prove that they're moving at the same speed. I think like a blanket statement of run there would make them.
No,
run
they
full
are moving
speed.
at the same speed. I mean, but they're not. That doesn't mean that Itachi's moving as fast as possible.
Here's the full actual panel of it. He says, "This time will completely suppress their emotion. I don't know how many pawns I can affect. At least this war will show me my limits. For the rest, I'll just use the follow orders, binding in place, and leave them."
Yeah, but he's just talking about like when they start fighting, right? Like he can't completely control all of these people at the same time because he has to like see what
Yeah.
they're seeing, and there's like fucking
But, like,
hundreds, if not thousands. of
I
them.
agree.
So there's no way he's manually.
I agree. He's
controlling all
not.
of them.
In this instance, he's not manually controlling Itachi, but him manually controlling Itachi doesn't mean that Itachi's moving at a slower speed.
No,
Or
I'm not
even-
saying that, but I'm saying Itachi may not be moving at his full speed here, and it's impossible to prove that he is by just saying that Kabuto gave him an order because he doesn't use his full power when
I
Kabuto
think the
gives him the
order
order to
Kabuto.
capture.
I think Kabuto likely would have ordered them to move full speed.
Possibility.
Well, I mean, if Kakazu can't keep up with Itachi too, it's also possible that they were just moving at a speed Kakazu was comfortable at, so that they stayed in formation. Like if you see a bunch of soldiers marching through the street in like Tibet and China or whatever, you wouldn't say that they all have the same movement speed. They're just staying in formation.
I agree if they were in a formation, but Kakuzu splits.
They're
right
literally
after this.
running right next to each
Yeah,
other.
I agree, but they're not in a formation. He splits right after this.
And leaves Nagato with Itachi, hence
Yeah.
being in a formation. So
That's not a formation.
They're in a formation
that just
right
means
now.
They happen to be.
A formation kind of implies like, you know, like how you use the army where they're like all marching next to each other down the street, right? But they're not doing that. They're going their own directions to their own destinations. They're not going all the same direction. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Swag also failed to like answer the question when he asked like why does he need his Mangekyo to use his full speed? And he never answered that one.
Yep.
And it kind of just moved on to a different point.
Yeah, just another point dropped.
Be running the same direction, and then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna."
yeah,
go
so
this
they're
way."
in a formation side by side.
A
right now.
formation implies that they're like the synchronized unit, but that's not true. They're
Well,
not
can you
synchronized.
prove that they're not a synchronized unit right now?
Yeah, I can, because Kakuzu does something different. He leaves.
Yeah, after this. Right now they're moving in formation, and they could have been before this.
Right now, they're moving in formation. And they could have been before this. Where are you even getting that idea?
Because they're moving right next to each other.
Why is that possible?
Because first of all of the Edo Ninja like move as a group, right? Like most of them have other people with them. So Kabuto tends to get like it's like fucking Asuma, Dan, and like whoever that fucking Hyuga person is aren't like all the same speed necessarily.
Would
just
you
because they're
agree
moving
if
together.
Itachi is moving full speed here, he would blitz the paths of pain? Kakuzu would.
You guys
have to
definitely should have
prove that
defined
Itachi- If I
formation.
hypothetically did.
But also, this is just travel
Oh,
speed,
that's
not
my question
combat
first.
speed. This
Oh, yeah.
is just combat or travel speed, not combat speed.
Do you
so
think
it's their speed.
like if Kakuzu was like traveling at this speed, like running up to Pain, right? Like Pain would be able to react to Itachi and him?
Yeah, because Nagato should be relative to Pain because Nagato controls
Nagato's not-
Pain and just transmits his chakra through Pain.
So Nagato at that point is not suffering from crippled dead man syndrome.
He
so
is because he can't walk. So
He can't walk, but he's not necessarily suffering the ill effects of like. his
yeah, but
weakness
he's
and everything
also
else.
Edo nerfed. So
Yeah, I don't know, but we just don't know to what degree each of them are nerfed. Like,
so you
one-
can't really
one-
say
one-
whether or not Nagato is stronger or
Can't say he's
weaker.
faster
So
or
I mean,
weaker.
they should be relative.
No, that doesn't prove that. That just means we don't know.
What the hell?
Okay. Yeah. So the argument right now is like he's trying to say Nagato scales the pain, but the issue is like Nagato when alive is like crippled and he's also like sick. Oh, and he doesn't have to actually, like, he is still, his legs still don't work while he's in Edo, but he's not actually suffering from, like, the pain or the sickness he had while alive. So we don't actually know, like, which one's weaker than which, but Nagato has way better feats. So I would assume Nagato is just more powerful than Pain. But either way, it's not like Swag is going to have the capability to demonstrate they're on the same level anyway, because there's no statements or evidence of that. But he's still, like, trying, I guess. But, I mean...
Like,
Yeah.
he could be stronger, he could be
And
weaker.
wait.
Doesn't mean
Also,
they're
him being crippled has nothing to do with his chakra and his ability to transmit it through the pains.
So you would agree, like, if I could prove that Itachi and Kakuzu were moving at this speed,
No, because
And
it's
since
travel
you-
speed,
it's a-
not
hold
combat
on.
speed, like I said.
hold on, you can react to your travel speed. Can you punch in the air while you're running?
Yeah, sure, but then that becomes combat speed.
Yeah, so Kakuzu would have a combat speed on this level too.
No.
Okay,
Because
so you're saying
if you're
if
moving with the
Kakuzu was-
intention, if you're moving with the intention of moving and not, like you've said before, that like Kakuzu can get like caught off guard. So like if you're moving with the intention of moving and like not focusing on like other factors, then yeah, your movement speed may be greater than your travel speed may be greater than your combat speed. Like they're not necessarily related.
No, I think Kakuzu can probably punch while he's running. In fact, we see him do that. So
Yeah, sure, he does it while he's running in combat.
Yeah, I could just
Not
say that
moving
like
as fast as possible.
I could just
to,
say
like,
that
get to a place.
Kakuzu just running, like he doesn't even necessarily need like the combat speed or whatever. Like just him like running at that speed and then like he could like put his arm out, bro. Like that alone would blitz these pads of pain. Like him moving at that speed at all is ridiculous.
I disagree because, like I said, Nagato should be relative to the pains, and he blitzes
Okay, well, that's your-
KCM.
If that's your only argument, then we can move on from that. I'm gonna make one more speed argument for.
I didn't realize this, but I also made the argument earlier that earlier in the debate that every time someone is holding back, it's stated. There's never like a
Yeah.
time where like someone's not holding back and they don't mention it, right? So that argument would be kind of applicable here. So I don't even necessarily think I lost the Itachi point either, even though I think it was my weakest point. I don't think I necessarily lost it. Like if you take that point into consideration, you could argue I won that point. So even then, I still think I won the speed scaling. Like at least the Shikamaru stuff for sure. Like I think I dominated on that part. But yeah, I didn't mention this earlier with the Shikamaru stuff, but he basically said that. Here, I'll actually just wait till conclusions, because the conclusions will explain it better than I can. I'm the one explaining it in the conclusion, so that doesn't make sense. But we're gonna watch anyway.
Well, what were you gonna say about like what were you gonna do to prove that Kakuzu was like the same speed as Itachi?
I actually kind of already slipped it in, but I'll say
What?
it again. I basically made the argument that like I don't think it's possible that they were in a formation. I'm asking
Why?
you to demonstrate that it's a possibility.
No, that the burden of proof isn't on me here because you're making the positive claim that Kakuzu
It's a
is as
negative
fast
claim.
as that you're making the positive claim that Kakuzu is as fast as Itachi and that Itachi is moving at full speed here. I'm
my
just
claim-
telling you there are plenty of reasons why that may not be the case, so it's impossible.
No,
to
the
say
only
with
reasons
certainty.
you gave, right, were
Pretty
what was it?
valid reasons.
The formation shit, right? And I just argued like I asked
You
to
said
show me
that
that's a
you said that
possibility.
Kabuto is telling them to move at full speed, but you don't know that.
Yeah, I
right?
think he would be telling them to do that because it's more strategically advantageous. So it
It's
makes it
also more
lightweight.
strategically advantageous if Kakuzu can't keep up with Itachi to tell them to move at a speed Kakuzu's
That would be
comfortable
true
at.
had they been fighting together, but they weren't fighting together. So that
Yeah,
wouldn't be
sure, but it was
strategically
okay. Then why
advantageous.
were they even moving together in the first place?
Huh?
There's a
Just
reason.
because
Actually, no,
because the
there's a good reason. There's a
battlefield's
good
massive, and
there's a
they're all
good
going
reason
towards
for
the
Kakuzu to
battlefield.
be. There's a good reason for Kakuzu to be in formation with Itachi here, and it's to carry Nagato. He doesn't want Itachi to have to do it if they run into somebody, and then he's just like, all right, yeah, you guys are clear.
doesn't want-
Kakuzu,
who
you
doesn't
can
want
Kabuto
Itachi?
doesn't.
Okay,
Kabuto
so
doesn't
you're
want
making
Itachi
like
carrying
you're making like
Nagato.
probably triple the assumptions I'm making. So I'm just gonna apply.
I'm
my
not
own
making
persuasion.
all of these assumptions at once. I'm saying there are plenty of valid reasons
Yeah,
why
you're
they might
basically
not be
saying-
moving at full speed.
I-
There
I-
are
I'm making
billion
one
different
assumption.
reasons why.
I'm making one assumption. My assumption is that Kabuto would be commanding these guys to move full speed.
And I'm telling you why.
You're
that's
you're
not
assuming that they're in a
comparison
formation. You're assuming that like Kakuzu.
I literally
and
just
Nagato
said
are in
I'm not. I
formation.
literally just said I'm not assuming all of these things at once. I'm
You
just
are,
treating them
though.
as
You're just
possible. No,
saying
I
they're
just said they're all possibilities. I never said that they are all.
In
true.
order for hold on, you have to argue that those possibilities coincide with each
They
other.
don't all have to coincide
Yeah,
in order for this
like
not to be
your
true.
argument for why he's in a formation is because he's carrying Nagato. Those are two assumptions on their own.
No, I said that may be proof
Yeah.
that they are in a formation together.
Exactly.
I never said that they have to both be true.
Okay, well, in order to demonstrate,
In order to prove that they're in a formation, he has to assume two things. That's literally, he has to assume that he's carrying Nagato. He has to, and he has to assume that they're in, and that he's holding back because of the formation. Like, regardless of what he's trying to argue, he has to make both of those assumptions, because his argument for why they're holding back is because they're in a formation, right? Okay? His proof for why they're in a formation is Nagato. So that means he has to assume that because he's carrying Nagato, for the purpose of a formation. And then he has to assume that formation's holding him back. He has to. That's literally his his argument. Those two things do have to be together. You can't, because if he just assumes they're in a formation, okay, now what? Like, they're in a formation, that doesn't prove they're holding back. No, he has to assume they're in a formation, and that formation is why Cockazoe's holding back, in order for that argument to make sense. You know what I mean? So he can't just assume one of those assumptions and be okay. He has to assume both. So yeah, he
Really,
is making...
the only form of like a formation, like making someone slower, was just an analogy to something completely like different.
Yeah,
Especially a large scale formation, which is completely different from a small group
exactly. Like two
of
people just
three
running.
people, of which only two of them are moving.
Yeah. And also they're going to completely different destinations, which kind of implies that they're not in a formation. Or else...
It would also be strategically advantageous for them to like stick into a group until they have to split off to meet their objectives.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wouldn't make any sense for them to like, I don't know, just like split off and compromise their security, especially when one of them is carrying another person if they get ambushed or something.
Yeah.
But for the time being, it would be advantageous to stick together until, you know, they're close enough to their objective where they could just split off and bam, they're fine.
Yeah, that's a pretty good description of what I would call this as well. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you would even say it. Like, it just seems like too much of a stretch to try and argue that, but yeah.
And all the assumption things too, it's like, if he proves that, like, okay, so there's like, he brought up like, what was three? I think there was like three different, examples he brought up for why they would be moving slower.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, it was just kind of weird that he wasn't going to try and prove any of them, and he was just saying it was like only possibilities, but then also wasn't explaining why the possibilities would necessarily make them that much slower either.
Yeah. Again, like, this is the same guy earlier in the debate.
Unless he was trying to prove all of them, which is what he was bringing up.
This is the same guy earlier in the debate when we were talking about Choji, that he wanted significant proof that Choji got stronger between the Pain Arc and the War Arc, right? Not just he wanted actual proof that they got stronger, right? Well, if that's the case, we can apply that same standard here, right? I want significant proof that Kakuzu and Itachi are holding back, okay? I want that would apply the same, because if we're having to prove someone need significant evidence to prove someone's stronger, then we need significant evidence to prove someone's weaker as well. That you can't just nitpick which ones you get.
Like,
you have to use both.
You should accept a burden of proof that you expect others to bring to you.
Yeah, you have to remain consistent on your standard, and this just shows he's super inconsistent about it. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so the argument flowed like this. You started with they're in a formation. I argued no, they're not.
I didn't start with that. I said they could be in a formation.
Hold on, stop being.
I said they could be in a formation.
Nitpicky. Doesn't matter.
No, I'm not being nitpicky. The argument started with no, Kabuto may not necessarily be telling them to move at full speed. It is relevant because you said how my argument like began, and I'm okay. This is just one of the arguments.
I understand you think I'm making a straw man, but I'm not attacking your argument right here. So it doesn't matter if I'm even straw man. You said still a nitpick. You understand what I'm saying?
No, it's not a nitpick because you're saying
you don't understand.
No, you literally said I'm assuming all of these things at the same time, but this is just.
You are assuming at least two things at the same time.
No, I'm not, because this is just one possible reason why they may not be moving at the same speed, and that is that. Okay, yeah, sure, go
ahead. Let me finish the argument, then we can go from here. So, you say they're in a formation. That's an assumption, right? Then you say that the way to prove that they're in a formation, right, is that Kakuzu is carrying Nagato. Just
I didn't say that that's proof. I said that kind of supports the possibility, but yeah.
Okay, in order for it to support the possibility, it would have to be.
Is that not proof?
For evidence.
Is that not proof?
It's not proof. I'm using it to support it. What? What do you mean? Like, you can't. Man, Swag's really on top of this.
I'm like going over that sentence again. He just said it wasn't proof, but it was support for that possibility being true.
He did. There's a bunch of those kind of statements.
Is that not what proof is?
That is what proof is. There's like this one point in the debate where he says like, I'm not saying Naruto looks disheveled. I'm saying Kakuzu says Naruto looks disheveled. I'm like, what's the function difference between those? Like, what changes there? Like, what? Nothing changes. And there's like a point where he says, I'm not saying Kakuzu's not holding back. I'm just saying he's not in his strongest form. I'm like, Swag. You can't be saying statements like this.
The latest one wasn't even a big deal either. It's just so weird to point out that it's not proof when just not say it and move on with it. So it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything.
It would need to maybe be true.
No, if something's maybe true, that doesn't prove that it's something.
No, I'm saying if it's true, then this this it's just kind of implicative.
Okay,
of
so you're
it,
not
right?
supporting. So that doesn't actually.
I'm not saying that. Oh my fucking
Okay,
god! No,
hold
I'm
on,
saying
Swag,
the
you don't-
fact that
Swag,
that's
you don't know
there
how
is
evidence
another
works.
sign that.
S-
Yes, I
Swag,
do. I'm
you don't-
saying
okay,
that
you
it
don't
is
know how
another
evidence
sign that it may be true. I'm not saying that the fact that they're moving in formation is an absolute claim, which you
Okay.
keep saying I am.
Okay, so
I am saying
I'm gonna show
that
you
it is
how-
possible that they're not.
Yeah, then why does he keep bringing it
in
up?
order for a claim to support another claim, or a piece, or something to support something else. They
Yeah, I
have
know
to-
you said this like
They
the
have to have
time I've
some kind of
addressed it every
validity.
time.
They have to have some kind of validity. They have to have some kind of evidence.
I'm not
to support each other.
saying that it.
So you are arguing this is a piece of evidence. You are arguing.
No,
that
I
they
never
have-
said
Okay,
that.
then it doesn't support you then.
No, I never.
You can't have both. They're mutually inclusive. They actually have to be together. Or else you can't make the argument, because then they don't support each other and you have no
Okay,
evidence.
back up because, like I said, I wasn't nitpicking earlier. You said
I'm not
that
even
my
talking about
argument
nitpicking right
was that they were in a formation, which is not true. I said they don't have to be moving at full speed, and I gave an example that they are moving in a formation
Okay.
as an example of why they may not be moving at full speed.
Either way, I think I've already gotten past this argument. It's just like,
I mean, I don't, but okay.
yeah, judges will figure it out one way or another. I'm gonna make one more speed argument for the Yugito stuff, just because it's a popular one. So, you're aware Coxey's just directly able to react to Yugito in combat speed.
Yeah, he reacts to like one attack, and that's all we see.
I mean, that's all we need. So just one attack to establish relativity. Yeah. So because of that, and Kakuzu, I do got work. I'm calling in late though, but
Sure.
yeah. So I was talking to Jaja, but yeah. So like that one, Kakuzu's relative to Yugito. Yugito during the war is able to fight both Killer Bee and KCM Naruto while nerfed by the Edo Tensei. So this would establish that Kakuzu is also on that level.
Yeah, but Yugito's like whatever, because like Naruto and Bee were like, first of all, they were. I mean, you could argue that they were both like fatigued or whatever from fighting like the rest of the
This is
war.
the
and shit.
beginning of the war, bro.
When they, did you
It's
say that the Biju fight was at the beginning of the war
This is
when they
towards
run
the
into
beginning,
Obito?
Yeah,
No,
this
it's
is like towards the
not. This
beginning,
is one of the
It's
final
still the
three
first day.
fights.
It hadn't even been the second day yet.
Yeah, but Naruto did
No,
a bunch of fighting
you
against
act
other
like the
people.
last two fights weren't the entire second day. Like it was like
No,
those
no,
last
no,
two
no,
fights
no,
took the
sure. I
entire
thought
day.
you meant like the beginning. I mean,
No,
they
I'm
still
just talking about,
fought
it's like
a
first
bunch
day.
of people, and Naruto made a bajillion clones, and this was
Yeah,
before
but
Kurama gave him
like
his
we
chakra
established
back.
earlier, like that whole argument about like people don't just like progressively get slower. It's like it's a sudden drop off when they like become weakened, right? Like that's a pretty common theme in Naruto. That's why like Naruto just like drops out of his KCM, right? He's like, what the fuck happened? And it's just because he stopped the threshold at which he maintains chakra drop to. Below, right?
Okay, I
So-
guess, but I mean, like the Jinchuriki were also all like clearly being amped by Obito because he transmits his chakra through them.
That's actually directly stated to not be the case.
What do you mean? He's not
There's-
transmitting
there's-
his chakra through them because
No,
that's
there's-
impossible.
Yeah, it's stated that
That's
he's
impossible. He has
no.
to transmit his chakra through
No,
them with the
there's
chakra
a
rods
direct
control them.
statement that he's not divvying up his chakra and that he's controlling them with ocular prowess alone.
But he still has to transmit his chakra through them.
Yeah.
That's how the Rinnegan
It
works.
doesn't matter if he's transmitting chakra; they're not being amped by it. They're only being controlled by it.
Can you
And
show me the
if-
statement?
Yeah, I can.
Swag and me have some not even me, just Swag in this instance has confusion over what I mean by like being controlled and being amped, because he thinks just having chakra inside of you means you're being amped by it, but it explicitly says that the chakra is just controlling them. So it doesn't say it's amping them.
It
I mean,
says,
using something like that
"He's not
would
foolish enough to divvy
also
up his
imply that
chakra,"
just
and
having the
Kakashi says,
chakra in
it's
your
gotta
body
be-
would just make you stronger. But if that was the case, then like,
Characters
why
with a lot of
couldn't
chakra would
Kid
be super strong.
Naruto why couldn't Kid Naruto just like go and body 99% of the Leaf Village?
Yeah, what's like the proof they're
or
even
any
using
of the
this
first-
chakra? Like, you know, the Sharingan technically transmits chakra into you when you're like being genjutsu'd by it, but you don't have access to the chakra that's controlling you. Like,
Like having the chakra in your body and being able to access it are two different things. Like
being able to
just
use it
being in
effectively.
you-
Like,
Yeah.
there's so many, like, levels to it, right? To prove that, like, he's amped. Like, not only do they have to have access to the chakra and the chakra rods, they would also have to be able to manipulate it. And then they would have to be able to manipulate it effectively beyond what they were already capable of manipulating in their own chakra pools. There's so many levels. So,
a serious amount of
Also,
chakra
like,
control.
I was just wanted to point out as well, like, isn't it as well with like when Naruto was first using KCM? It's just like he's like, it's basically like you're borrowing the Nine Tails chakra, and you have to be careful because you borrow too much of. I'm trying to remember what it was like reference to, but it was basically like if you borrow too much of the Nine Tails chakra, then he will attempt to overtake you. It's just like, yeah, like eventually, like that just kind of like proves it, like not just having the chakra doesn't mean that you have access to it. It's like if you, and it's literally in certain situations, if you have too much of it, you wouldn't be able to control it.
bro, they
either, so-
attack Obito when they get close. When Obito gets close. Like, they attack him. And I used this analogy during the debate. I'm just like imagining like having like a vicious like rabies-ridden dog on a leash, right? And then you like, what are you gonna do? Like shoot them with like steroids into them? Like you think you're gonna amp them beyond? Like you're already struggling to control them. What are you gonna do? You're gonna like, all right, we're gonna make these motherfuckers stronger? No, you're not gonna do that. You already can barely control them. Like Obito can't control these Jinchuriki as it is, like, or at least to an extent that they don't attack him when he gets close. Like, it's actually bad how strong these Jinchuriki are. And he specifically says he's not going to divvy up his chakra through the Rinnegan abilities. By the way, these are the 6 pads of pain, a Rinnegan ability. Whatever, though. Let's continue.
Control 7 Bijus with one's ocular power.
Yeah,
with
divvy up
with
his
just
chakra.
one's ocular power.
Divvy up his chakra means divvy up his chakra by using the Rinnegan abilities like Shinra Tensei and stuff. That's
Yeah, so
what
it's
it's
not like-
directly in reference to. So no, he's still amping them. He's just not using his chakra to like.
No, he says like it's to the point where he's barely even able to control them because they're talking about like how powerful the Biju are, and it's saying like it requires a massive amount of chakra to even control them. And in the panel, we see Obito.
Yeah, but Obito still has plenty of chakra like the whole time. So it's
Oh no, he
pretty
doesn't
fair.
actually. He's
yeah,
like,
afterwards he has enough chakra to like fucking like fight like the whole allied ninja forces and then like fucking fight like
having more
KCM
chakra afterwards is
Naruto
fine.
and like fight
Hold
B
on,
and
hold
fight
on, hold on,
Guy
hold
and
on,
like
hold on.
fight
Before you
all
go-
these
before
people.
you go
He
into
has
all that
plenty of
shit,
chakra.
hold on, before you go into all that shit.
Sure.
It is directly shown that like when Obito like even gets close to the Jinchuriki, they attack him, and it's because of the amount of control he has to put on them is already massive to control all those Biju. So he's barely able to control them, let alone
The
like, amp
Biju,
them.
not necessarily the Jinchuriki.
The Biju are inside of the Jinchuriki.
Yeah, but he's controlling the Jinchuriki, not the Biju. It's a little bit different.
Controlling the Jinchuriki, controlling the Biju, they kind of function the same in this.
No,
debate,
because
at
when
least.
he's controlling the like dead husks of the Jinchuriki bodies that the Biju have
In
been
that
sealed
same
inside of, it's
fight,
not the same thing.
in
It's
that
not
same,
the same thing.
in that same fight, they refer to them the same.
Can you show me that too?
Yeah, they literally say that the Biju's power, or what, like their Biju's power is crazy or some shit. So they're while they're fighting the Jinchuriki.
Also, wait, yeah, you say he's literally injecting his chakra into them. Like Kakashi even says how much chakra it takes.
To control them, not to amp them. He can barely control
But they're
them,
just
not- let
natively
alone amp
amped
them.
as paths of pain.
Listen, it literally just says.
You literally,
hold
like,
on.
agreed.
It says verbatim that to completely control 7 Biju with just one's ocular powers.
It's
He's
got
not
to
amping them.
take up a lot of chakra.
Yeah.
So he's using chakra to control them.
Yeah,
he has
he's
to transmit his chakra through them.
transmitting chakra into them does not amp them. It just controls
We
them.
literally
There's no statement of them being
agree.
amped.
Okay, but it's just like a native part
Could
of
you
the path of pain.
imagine like you had a dog on a leash, right? It's like freaking out, you're barely able to control it, and then you just
Not-
have like
that's not the
some,
same
you
thing
have
as
some like
using
fucking
Rinnegan.
crack syringe that you're gonna put in the dog just to make it fucking more ferocious.
Not the
Could
same
you
thing.
imagine that shit? It is the exact same thing. That is a
You think
one-to-one
that
analogy.
you think that using a syringe is the same as using the Rinnegan?
Yeah, controlling that. He's
He
controlling.
has
he's putting
rods
them on
inserted in them, and
he's-
it's demonstrated multiple times that pain transmits his
the-
chakra
the
through them. It's
leash-
not a leash.
The leash in this scenario is the ocular powers, right? Him controlling them, because the leash is what's controlling
They
the
do
dog, right?
exactly
He's
what he
barely
tells
able to
them
control
to, though. So it's not
No.
like they're doing literally exactly what he's telling them to do.
All right, I think I've supported this enough. I don't need to go any harder.
I don't think you
Oh,
have because they follow all of his instructions. and
something I
attack
also-
B, Kakashi,
They don't.
Naruto.
What's up?
Just something I wanted to add on to it is remember when I'm trying to remember what's the name of the path that absorbs chakra again?
Prada.
The Prada path. Remember when the Prada path was holding base Naruto, and then he's like, "Oh, well, I can't move. How about I just absorb the nature energy?" Because he's draining like Naruto at the same time. He's like, "How about I just go into Sage mode and start like absorbing the nature energy, and then overflow the Prada path, and then turn him into a fucking frog?" It's like,
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny you mentioned that the rods were actually draining Naruto. That's an interesting point, because these are the same rods that are being used to control the Jinchuriki. These rods don't amp. Like, there's no suggestion that these rods amp anything. Like, that's never been established.
Known to amp anything. It's only really been used as like an attack, like
And a nerf.
being able to chakra.
It
It's
nerfs
just, like,
you. Like, it's actually angry.
also,
Yeah.
are
I
we
was
gonna
gonna
say
say
that?
like the other rods inside the paint, but like those aren't like the same thing. Those are like wireless transmitter kind of rods, and not like the
Yeah.
controlling actual like
I know what you
attacking
mean.
rods.
Also, something I just realized right now. Remember when you were making the argument earlier that that the reason that Hidan, like when he was being controlled by what was it? When he was being controlled by Shikamaru via his shadow possession, that's why he was able to hit Kakuzu.
Yeah.
You can also say like for instance, like another instance where like someone controlling the other person can make them faster is when Shio was controlling Sakura, like against Sasori. He's like
Exactly.
the only Like
I didn't
literally,
think about that. Yeah, that works,
I just remembered that. It's like she literally couldn't. It's like
Sakura
she had the
says that
ability-
she wouldn't be able to react to Sasori at all in the beginning of that fight, so Chio puts her on puppet strings and starts manipulating her body to react to them, literally making her faster.
Made Sakura fat.
Yeah, through actual puppet strings, not even like the Shadow Possession, which isn't even like a puppet string. I just kind of compared it to that. Like, the Shadow Possession is like direct one-to-one, like, you move
Yeah, it
your
could
arm,
also
his
be
arm
like
moves.
resisted and like slowed down as well.
Yeah, exactly, so...
So yeah, it's not the best comparison, really.
Yeah, but either way, it's still like it still functions. Like he's not going to be able to prove that Shikamaru is like on the same level as Hidan ever, basically, or Hidan's on the level of Kakuzu. Like it just doesn't work. Anyway,
Wouldn't
Well,
be
they
playing
don't
well.
follow
They
the
use
instructions. Hold on,
teamwork. They have plenty of
hold on,
synergy. No,
hold
you
on.
just talked for like 5 minutes. Can I please like fucking
You just said
like they
something
use...
stupid though.
Okay, fine, whatever. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, you said that they completely obey him. They don't. When he gets close, they attack Obito.
Yeah, as long as he stays away though, then like fucking whatever. They still do what he says.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
what I'm
wait,
saying,
wait,
like,
do
he's
they
better
even
than
attack it?
control them.
Can you show me them like fucking trying to attack him when he gets close? Because
Yeah,
isn't this after some of the rods have been pulled out already?
No, this is literally during that same little fucking encounter. Can someone post a scan for it? That way I don't have to go find it.
Also, another thing, I found the sage mode thing. That sage.
I
mode
actually didn't notice that before. Like, what's it matter if like some of the rods have been pulled out? Does that change anything?
other than they are not controlled anymore.
Yeah, other than those specific Jinchuriki,
Reducing the control.
it reduces
I-
the control of the other Jinchuriki, but not the ones that still have rods in them.
Oh wait, I just remembered like isn't there like a particular instance where Pain literally takes a rod and then inserts it into Naruto so he's pinned to the ground and he was literally like he's like I can feel a chakra coursing through my body. He's like is Swagkage then gonna be able to agree? It's like oh like now Nagato is now amping Sage Naruto in this instance because his chakra is being poured into him.
The only argument I can
Yeah.
think of that would like benefit Swag in this way is if the rods were removed, you could try and make a correlation to like less rods, meaning he has to control less of them, so you'd have more control to put into these less rods.
Yeah, kind of like a six.
I think that's about it.
Yeah. So he just has to prove that like these rods actually amp them though. Again, like this falls back in that like in every instance where we see someone's amped or someone's holding back, they state it. Like they always talk about it.
Mhm.
So this is another one of those instances where Swag just doesn't have proof for it whatsoever.
I don't even know if it's relevant anymore, but
Well, it is because we were talking about like,
sure.
and Naruto even goes into Sage mode for the sake of like fighting the third Raikage. So Sage mode might even be faster than KCM since he didn't use it to fight the third.
They
That's not what he says. He says it's faster. So
Yeah. it can be faster
I
than
think
that.
you like
yeah, but you don't know that.
wait,
I
I'll
mean,
pause
know
real,
the case-
real quick, Noodles.
What's up?
I think you like you cut out real quick.
No, that was
because
the the audio on the video.
Oh, okay. I was really confused for a second.
Yeah. I Swag or Six left the debate, I guess, for a second. Let's
Okay.
TM cloak moves.
No, but usually when it says that something's like that something amps your reactions, it's pretty clearly illustrated, like with the Sharingan. So
Yeah,
I think that
pretty
that here
clearly
he's
so
just
it
talking about speed. I don't know, man.
I mean,
Kind of done this with like everything that I've said so far. Like
I mean,
no,
you
it's,
kind of
it's
done it
clearly
back, so
stated.
it's also like on you for that. Like I wouldn't have even
Not
gotten
really.
into this like weird hypothetical like argument that we
Swag just criticized me for appealing to possibility.
Wow.
Bro, I'm actually so mad about it. Like that's so irritating. You weren't
The
here for
king
the
of
rest of the
possibility.
debates about Saiboshi, but Swag is a walking tall appeal of possibility. That is his debate method.
I can tell there's been a lot of those brought up.
Yeah. So
do every time. Just,
Mhm.
It's literally because you started it with the very first argument, which was whether or not Kakashi was holding back. So you started.
Wait,
this,
what?
Not me.
When did I say that?
Not
Wait, why
Kakashi,
Kakashi was holding back? Wait, against who?
I argued Kakashi was holding back, and you argued it was possible that he wasn't.
Wait, I didn't say it was possible that he wasn't holding back when he punched Shikamaru. He created a
No,
big
wait,
ass
I'm
explosion.
not
wasn't-
talking about that. I'm talking about like I'm talking about the beginning. I'm not even.
Oh wait, no, I didn't say it was possible he wasn't holding back when he was in like fucking like no, I know he's like not. So what I was saying is he was still using like the max power of like his base form, right? Like it's like if Goku's going 100% at base, it's like I guess yeah he's still holding back because he's not going blue, but like there are multiple meanings when you say holding back. That's all I was trying to clarify.
I know, but like that first argument.
But that wasn't really me like being like doing a fucking hypothetical thing.
I mean, the first argument he actually made, like in general, like to counter my AP point, was that Datara was possibly using C3 on the Three Tails, which we ended up conceding was wrong. But like his first like counter to me was an appeal to possibility. So
Also, before you start again, Saucy, literally in any fucking like versus debate, once you like when the speed point, it's really hard to lose after that, unless like you aren't able to argue that Kakuzu could do anything to Pain. Like literally,
The weak Konohamaru level pains that just don't
Yeah,
have
Especially,
durability.
especially in inverse debates, it's a little bit different with crossverse, but a lot of the time, if somebody has a speed point on you, it will usually only come down to like stamina, and if they could actually like, if the person that's faster, if they can't kill the other person before their stamina runs out, and that's basically about it. But speed's like a massive point, because once you can argue that they're faster, then you have a whole new possibility of ways to go into an argument.
Ways to make win
like-
runs and
It's
things.
like you could propose that since they're just faster, they could just dodge any of these attacks that would bring harm to them, or they could just react to it, or
blitz and one shot, like
or
tons of
blitz.
stuff.
Yeah, tons of stuff.
Makes it
Especially
really
when AP and durability is so close as well. Speed's just the deciding factor,
Yep.
almost always.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's finish this debate.
I thought it was a
I
pretty
mean, you were
important
arguing
distinction to
from, like,
make, but okay,
possibility.
like my bad for.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I have no problems with us like making distinctions.
Well, I mean, that's not what you
But,
just
like,
said.
But,
but-
hold on, no, I have no problem with it. It's just you're complaining about it, but you started it, so it's your fault.
No,
Like,
you just said it was pretty stupid, so I think you have a problem
When
with
did I
it.
say it was pretty stupid?
And I mean, like, it's completely different when I'm like, well, no, it's different for him to be, like,
Ma-
holding back in base versus holding back by not exiting base versus saying, well, he does just blatantly say it's faster, but that could mean, he just eats faster. We really have no fucking idea. Like, come on. Like, that's not what I did.
Yeah. Yeah, that is actually what he did. He did say things like, well, it's possible that's a C3. It's possible that Obito convoyed to the bottom of the lake to plant bombs for the Three Tails. Like, yeah, he did do those kind of arguments. Like, I don't know why he's not saying he didn't try to do those kind of arguments. He definitely did.
Well, couldn't you just equally argue it was possible he didn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Right. That's,
canceled out.
that's the issue with an appeal to the possibility, right? Like, it doesn't actually make an argument.
You
for
can
anything.
appeal to the possibility of the opposite.
Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
Also,
help you. It's possible that, like, when Pain fights Naruto, that Naruto wasn't actually Naruto, but a clone that someone else made of Naruto to fight and pretend to be Naruto, and it's just never stated. Like, that's possible, but
Yeah.
does it make it likely? No. So, the argument I'm going to make right here is that Kakuzu speed blitzes and one-shots, so I think I've already established that.
I mean, no.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about, really? Like,
I've given multiple arguments, like, Nagato was, like, blitzing the fuck out of the KCM one that you're saying Kakuzu was, like, relative to, and,
do you want to just go to conclusions, then?
like, the pains shouldn't be any stronger than Edo Nagato, because they're just chakra, and Nagato has, like, less overall
I've already
chakra,
addressed
because he's, like,
arguments, so you
nerfed.
just want to go to conclusions?
No, okay, what did you say that, like, debunks it? Because, like, Nagato shouldn't be any stronger than, like, Nagato being stronger, I mean, shouldn't really be relevant to, like the pains, because the pains are just his chakra, right? And he has, like, the same amount of chakra. It should be less because he's Edo nerfed, so.
Yeah, so you ready to go to conclusions?
So you're, like, not addressing that?
I've already addressed it, so.
I mean, you
Listen,
did.
bro, if you feel like you won, then go to conclusions and we can just have the judgment. Like, I'm down with that. So, if you feel confident, which you should, right? Like, you kind of laughed about this debate in the beginning and you realized it's a lot more contentious, just saying. But, if you feel confident with it, I'm ready to go to conclusions.
No, I want to know what you said, like, for the sake of going to conclusion.
Do you not feel confident?
That's not what I said.
Okay, then just go to conclusions.
Do we
I don't
want to
wanna
point
waste-
out
I
here
gotta-
being
that
funny,
don't go to
listen, I
gotta go to
conclusions?
work.
Man, like, I asked you to, like, 5
Listen,
times.
I gotta go to work is the thing. That's why I'm trying to end this really quickly. I'm already late as it is, so.
I guess you could, like, ignore my request. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore your request because I've already
Mhm,
done
yeah,
it.
that's-
So. If you think you won, we're good then, right? So it doesn't matter. Let's just go to conclusions.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
All right, go ahead and conclude. Make your conclusion. Hank.
No, you can go first.
I would have just answered and then just moved on. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
So basically, there's a bunch of like major arguments specifically surrounding speed. He basically just didn't establish any durability whatsoever for the pads of pain. So
Wait, but you
Hold
specifically
on,
told me. No, you.
Wow.
Hold on,
All right,
these are
whatever. Yeah,
conclusions,
sure,
right?
fine. Yeah, it's your conclusion. That's fine.
Yeah, we don't talk during conclusions.
Sure.
Yeah, he never established any durability for the pads of the pain whatsoever, so they don't have durability.
Mhm.
He never established anything that fucking Kakuzu wouldn't be able to do to him. I basically proved that Kakuzu is just a more deadly member than fucking Data. He tried to make some weird, like, more consistent force argument. I asked him what he meant by that. He never elaborated on it, so I never had to fucking address it at all. And then the argument that really came down to it was about speed. And he said at one point, I have it quoted, I wrote it down when he says it. During the Shikamaru argument, he said, I don't feel it's reasonable to assume he's weakened. Because he uses an attack 19 pages later, okay? He didn't feel like Shikamaru was weakened during that fight because he used an attack 19 pages later. That's what he verbatim said, okay? I showed an argument for base Naruto and Sage Naruto being able to react to pain 11 pages later after he stated to be full power. So because of that, that means he would agree that pain is not weakened and relative to base Naruto, who I've already established that Kakuzu is above in speed. I already showed Kakazu was faster than him. The only argument he tried to bring was that Kakazu was tagged by base Naruto twice. But I already debunked that by saying he got caught off guard twice. In both those situations, he got caught off guard. We weren't able to establish how strong Shikamaru was because I thought he was weakened. Weren't able to establish how strong Kakashi was because he was weakened. Kakazu was holding back for a majority of the fight till the end, and then he like blitzed everyone. He literally blitzed everyone, so it didn't matter. So yeah, I think I basically just blitzed and one-shot all these pads.
Well, the fucking durability thing, we never even talked about character durability.
It was the first point. It was the first point.
Literally,
It was the
I
first point.
even remember that. That like
I literally
his first
asked
point
him
was-
what Pain's durability was verbatim. He can't
I
say
do
that.
rem- I
And then
remember that as well.
he said he wouldn't give me a durability. He dodged it and said, "Oh, well, he has other abilities he can use." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm not talking about his hacks right now. I'm talking about his actual durability because durability is a stat, right? Like that's how like the Truth kind of said this on his Twitter or whatever. Like he thinks abilities don't play into durability. They don't for the most part. Like unless you have a fucking ability that does amp your durability, they don't. Like Kakazu's diamond armor specifically makes his skin thicker. That increases how durable his skin is, increases how tough Kakazu's skin is, right? That increases durability. Durability is how much force you can withstand, right, on your body, okay? Absorbing a jutsu does not mean your body can absorb force, okay? Or your actual skin can absorb force, right? Because that's what I was talking about, was how durable the physical aspect of the pains were, not their non-physical abilities that they can use, or maybe not their other characteristics. Like, they totally can use ninjutsu absorption and things like that, but that's not what I was talking about at the time, so... Yeah. He dodged the durability point, never provided physical durability for all the Pain's skin for any of the pads of Pain after I questioned him multiple times on it. So, yeah.
Kind of whack. Also, it kind of exposes how little Swag debates as well when he's interrupting during conclusions.
that is, I was just gonna say, he like immediately when he said like he didn't establish any speed, he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, at that point, because I was like, I know Swag has been in like a couple debates, but he's not known for like going like into servers debating all of the time.
Yeah.
And it
Like
kind of showed, at least at that point, beside like putting aside the argumentation, like I thought he would have known, you know, when you go to conclusion, that's the final thing for each side. So you just have the one person talk, explain why they think they won, and the other side can go and say why they think they won. It's like a summary for the judges, and
Yeah.
if they're trying
Just
to
to
argue
jog
during
the judges'
conclusions, then
Mhm.
they kind of defeats the entire point of the.
Yeah. It's just like when you try to make a conclusion, the point is just to wrap it up, right? Like when you write a conclusion, like an essay, they teach you just to like kind of write like the introduction, but you're just like recapping what you wrote in the essay, right? That's what a conclusion is. in
Yeah,
debate,
like they
too.
go introduction, and then your body, then your conclusion.
Yeah. Conclusion just
all
recaps
wrapped
everything.
up in the last like paragraph.
That's why
Right?
it's called a conclusion, right? So,
Yeah, everything's got to wrap up.
that functions the same for debates basically everywhere. So anyway, let's continue.
We were talking about AP.
That was the first argument we talked about, bro.
No, we talked about AP. I'm on my conclusion right now, and you just fucking told me not to.
Alright, go ahead,
interrupt you. Yeah. So, like I was saying, we never talked about character durability. We talked about AP, and we only talked about Kakazu's because when you asked to move on, you said we should talk about speed. I thought that we were going to go back and talk about Pain's durability, Pain's AP, etc. I guess not. You gotta get out of here, so this kind of fucking sucks. But when we were talking about durability, you explicitly told me not to mention shit like the Preta Path or like Shinra Tensei, which, by the way, now that I can talk, I can say can fucking nullify anything. Stated in the data book can nullify all jutsu, which should include, by the way, Kakazu's diamond armor. So he should just, if Kakazu runs up to him, Shinra Tensei, like whatever. Pain shown reacting to, the same like Naruto that was like relative to him, or like Sage Naruto that was relative to him multiple times with Shinra Tensei with no difficulty when he's surrounded by people, and people get like close to him. Usually they're not like the Kakashi fight, for example. Kakashi's not able to touch him, so Shinra Tensei should be fine. Preta Path should be fine. Preta Path runs in and like blocks the Rasen Shuriken, absorbs it or whatever. Kakazu's big AoE attacks, Preta Path should be able to absorb them just like he did the Rasen Shuriken. Speed I thought was fairly contentious, and we both just kind of talked in circles. I don't really think anything got like debunked or proven. I think that
Very funny that he
it
thinks
really
that
just came
too.
down to well, I don't agree with that, Swag. Here's why. I don't agree with that, Noodles. Here's why. I thought we both provided pretty a reasonable alternative explanation. So I do think Naruto literally tagging Kakazu, and then like killing him and then like losing the pain is it's pretty good. I think that's pretty conclusive, about as conclusive as you can get. I mean, like the fucking Edo shit was like really weird, and I brought up Nagato and he said he like addressed it. I don't think he did. I don't even remember what he was saying. The 19 pages thing was fuck, I don't even care. I think I had a lot of words put in my mouth.
I don't even care about the 19 pages thing. Funny.
I don't think Kakazu blitzes in one shots. I think that Pain should be at least relative to him, and in that case, he's just more hacks than Kakazu and like rips out his soul, and he's got shit like Bancho Tenin.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this right here real quick, just because
I'm being very long-winded with the conclusion, and
Yeah.
I haven't seen like the whole debate, but it kind of seems like he's throwing in, like I mean don't take this like 100%, but kind of seems like he's throwing in extra things now that you talk for the conclusion.
He said probably like 100 things that was just never brought up in the debate, and because it's the conclusion, I'm not allowed to respond to it. That's
because I noticed when he brought up the he was like it can nullify every jutsu, and now that Noodles can talk over me, I can say it, and brings up the evidence for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get on Swag too hard for that.
That's kind of
the issue is like, yeah, you can't do that because technically I'm not allowed to respond in the conclusion, but it's like my fault it even got to that position in the first place, because I basically forced Swag to conclude right there. I didn't like make it up for debate whether or not, because Swag probably would have made those points later, but he didn't get to because of me. So I will say that's like my fault that it happened that way. But I did tell him at the end of the debate that I would let him get in a win con, and then we just like judge it off of the rest, like the rest of the debate plus that win con, right? Like I would just say that like basically Soul Steel works on Kakazu, right? And then we can just judge off the speed point or whatever. Like I was willing to do that because it is technically my fault that like Swag didn't get to do that, but it was because I had to go to work. Like it wasn't like I was leaving for some like weird reason. It was literally just because I was already late for work, so I needed to go. Because my boss was texting me, so it was just one of those things where like it was bad timing. And the debate happened that way because of it. But, yeah, either way, like, just, like, I was told him I was willing to continue it, like, the next week or whatever, whenever we needed to do it. But he said he was down to continue it 2 weeks later, too. But, he never ended up doing that so far. So, let's, we'll find out if Swag's still willing to debate, because I totally am still willing to finish the debate with him. Yeah, anyway. The speed argument is the important argument. So there's 4 major speed arguments. There was, let's just type out them each. So Kakazu greater than base Naruto equal to pain. Okay, that's one of them. Second argument was Kakazu greater than, or we'll say equal to, Yugito equal to B and KC Naruto greater than base Naruto from the Pain arc equal to Pain. Okay, that's the second argument. I don't even care about the other 2 arguments. I think I won both of these arguments handedly. So, in Kakazu greater than base Naruto, I showed that Kakazu was able to blitz multiple clones of base Naruto, right? He just outright was, okay? So, because he was able to blitz multiple clones, who I also argued were relative to Naruto, none of that was refuted by Swag. The only thing he said was, Kakazu is, gets tagged by Naruto twice. I refuted that by saying he was off guard in both those instances, right? So, basically, Swag's only counter to this was debunked. So, I think I won this aspect of the argument, right? And then I also proved base Naruto was relative to Pain because he's able to fight with him. Swag's debunk to this was to say that Pain was weakened in this instance. I argued Pain wasn't weakened in this instance because 11 pages later, he says he's at full power. He says he is at full power. The reason that's important is because later in the debate, Swag says Shikamaru is not weakened, we'll just say is not weakened, because he uses Shadow Possession 19 pages later. Okay? So Swag admits that, like, Shikamaru just using a jutsu 19 pages later means he's not weakened, just to try and say Kakashi is, like, faster than Shikamaru. So he's willing to say that Shikamaru is not weakened 19 pages later, right? but then he's not willing to say Pain isn't weakened, even though he says he's at full power. Not even just using a jutsu. Pain says he's at full power 11 pages later, mid-fight, where we see everything that's going on, where it's usually pretty quick. So yeah, like his entire argument, by this standard, he would have to admit that Pain is also not weakened. So Kakuzu faster than base Naruto equal to Pain. And that followed through, and I don't think Swag was able to get around that at all. Now, I would talk about this argument. I don't even need this argument. I won with this. This is the only argument I need to win. Because after that, like, regardless if I lose the Yugito point, regardless if I lose the Itachi point, it doesn't hurt this argument. So I still win. I don't even have to talk about this. I already did talk about him anyway. But yeah, so this entire debate was just gross to me. Like, it just, like, it was so slimy the way it came about with, like, Jaja and Swag giving Swag, or Jaja and Six giving Swag all of their arguments without me knowing. Not that Six and Jaja aren't necessarily slimy, which Six is. Six is definitely slimy for sending stuff mid-debate. But it was just really slimy that even happened, like that they were doing it without me knowing that they were doing it. Because Seth never told me this. So, yeah, I didn't like it. But I don't think there's anything else in the rest of this video. I mean, we can watch it. What do you guys want to do?
I mean, it's just judges' conclusions, right?
It's basically just us talking about doing it 2 weeks later, I think. Let's listen a little bit.
Right.
We said 10 minutes for the judges to go over it, because there's a lot of shit to go over, so...
Wait, before...
Okay, yeah, the debate's basically over.
Yeah.
You guys can go watch the rest of it if you want. There's nothing big.
10 minutes to go over a 2-hour debate. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they thought that, like, again, like, Six thought, like, Swag needed, like, another 2 weeks in order to continue this debate and, like, go over with him, so they didn't... So I don't think Six thought that, like, Swag was winning at all, if that was the case. If he felt like he needed 2 weeks of prep or some shit. It's like...
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. It was just a really weird situation. But yeah, I think I whooped Swagkage's ass, so... on the speed point, on the AP point, on everything. I think I literally beat Swag on every single major point that we had. And also, like, the whole, like, him, like, calling me, like, a pro debater and stuff like that. I'm not a pro debater. I debate Naruto online on Discord. Like, I'm not a pro debater. I'm just a fan of the series. Like, that's all it is. I don't even know what a pro debater is. Is that even a thing? Like, yeah.
Jesus, we finally got through this shit.
Yeah, that took a lot longer than I expected. So, Surfbone, now that you've got to experience this debate, do you have a differing opinion of me, or are you in the same boat?
No, I'm kind of more in the same boat. It's just like, oh man, it's just like the difference between what Swagkage was during, like, the parrot debate and this debate is just, he was just way, like, obviously, because I'm pretty sure only him and, like, him, Parrot, Seth, and I think Carthu were the only ones who were there for that debate. So, and it's like, obviously, Carthu was, like, really neutral, and Seth was trying to be neutral as well. So I don't think either of them were trying to help him throughout the entire debate. And, like, no one previously would trying to tell, like, Swag how to debate Parrot or something. So it's just really interesting to see, like, how
Swag debated it this way.
Yeah, Swag debated.
He definitely came into it with, like, a more debate goon mentality, like how, like, people debate on Discord, and that's literally directly because of Swag Six and Jaja. That literally is because of them. I guarantee it. So
I
like,
think
he kind of just came into it with, like, that normie, like, YouTuber narrative analysis guy into the debate with Parrot, but in my debate with him, he actually tried to debate it like how I'm used to debating, like how I usually debate people. So because of that is why I think he sounds so much different than the Parrot debate, which makes it look better on me, by the way, because now that he's debate gooning, it doesn't make my debate gooning look bad. Like, with Parrot, the entire time, he was just appealing to absurdity and trying to make it look like Parrot's positions were, like, dishonest or whatever. But with me, he didn't do that at all. He tried to debate me, like, with appeal to possibility and things like that. So, because he did that, it just made it seem a step up. Yeah. Definitely better than what he did against Parrot, but, still, you know.
Man, that like I just feel like this debate in itself kind of exposes who Swagkage truly is,
Yeah.
like as a person, and it's just like that he's just mainly a fucking normie channel that is like carried by the amounts of people that subscribe to his channel, and it's just like
He makes
that literally-
run of the mill, non-interesting Naruto power scale and analysis videos. Like there's nothing
Right.
fucking grandiose is coming out of. He's not talking about interesting shit like Kakuzu being above pain. Like that's super cool. Like who would like try and argue that, right? Like crazy people will try and argue that, and that's what makes it interesting. He doesn't make videos like that. He doesn't talk about like actual intricate power scaling because it is way more intricate than people give it credit for. So hold on, we get
Right.
a $5 dono. Alnumi Timite to punch Robot in the face for being too slow on that Motorverse Sizen video. Funnily enough, he actually sent me the audio for it today, so it's might actually be in
Yeah,
finishing works
finally.
probably within the next few weeks. So yeah, that video's actually gonna come out. I didn't know if it would.
Oh, I definitely gotta listen to this one. I gotta fact check Noodles. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I still don't get the people that like they think that you won Noodles, but they still aren't convinced that Pain loses to Kakuzu. I
That's
still
what
don't
everyone
get that.
says. I mean,
Oh,
just go
I
watch my
still
box.
don't get it.
This also
But
kind
they're-
of ties back to that earlier point where people were like typing in chat about it, about debating to seek truth over winning, which is like it's like if we look at it this way, right? If you can't win with your argument, right, then that would mean that it doesn't have the truth value to it, right? Or at least to yourself.
Right.
Like you can't prove to yourself that it has truth value if you can't win with it. Because obviously, if you can't win with it, then that means it can be defeated. And if it's
Exactly.
defeated, then obviously it doesn't have much truth value. So they're like kind of tied in together.
Yeah.
in a way.
Also, if you're just like, if you can't like debunk any of Noodles' arguments, but you're still holding to the fact that Pain beats Kakuzu, even though you don't have any
You
of those
probably got a
counter-arguments,
bias for
it's like,
Pain.
yeah, you're literally just demonstrating that you have a bias for Pain, and you're just like, no, there has to be some argument out there that makes Pain above Kakuzu. It's like now you're just going into confirmation biance. Like you're
Yeah,
literally
like,
just saying like,
you gotta like just look at all of the feats and the statements, right? Like regardless, like if you strip these two characters of their names and appearance, right? There were two gray blobs going at each other, but we have statements and feats for one, and then the other, statements and feats for the other, right? This would not be as heated of a topic as it would be.
Yeah. People and honestly, it's like if you can't reason in your head why he wins, then you can't say he wins. Okay, that's just how it
Yeah.
goes. Like if you can't reason why Pain wins, then you are not, like if you can't debunk what I'm saying, that means you can't reason past what I argue. Okay, you can't reason why Pain wins beyond my arguments. So that means you can't say he wins. Like you can't just say I feel like he would win, right? We argue based on logic and reasoning. Okay, you can have the pathos arguments all you want, but that's just to be persuasive. That's not actually to make strong arguments. Okay, when we're making strong arguments, that's when you use logos, okay? So if you can't use logos to defeat me, then you're not making an argument or actually demonstrating why Pain would win. So you can't just say he wins, even though you don't know if he wins. Not to harp on this guy too hard or anything. But,
right.
No, not really pointing out anybody in particular. It's just kind of what of a large majority of the community about it.
And it's just like, what's funny is just like, even after this whole debate, like, again, like when I said like this kind of like exposes who Swagkage is as a person, like immediately afterwards, Swagkage immediately went onto Twitter talking shit about Noodles, representing his arguments and taking them out of context. And then Noodles just said, wait for the recording to come out. That's all Noodles said on fucking Twitter. He didn't say anything to fucking Swag. It's like come on, guys. Like, you're gonna like tell me that like Noodles is the one who's acting all condescending.
Swag was okay.
Debate.
I didn't tell anyone this, but prior to the debate, Swag was apparently like this is what from Set's words, okay, not my words, but Swag was apparently thinking I was a Discord goon, like a Discord parrot goon, and that he was gonna like stomp me, and he thought that like he beat Parrot while despite never debating before, and he's gonna come back 2 years later and stomp me and all this other shit. And like when I actually got to talk to him, the entire time he's just being super condescending. The way he acted towards Parrot was just super condescending. Like it was just irritating to listen to. So I didn't like this guy even going into it, just because he is like that. But yeah,
to be honest, I think the fame has kind of gotten to his head a
Yeah.
bit, and it sounds like it's really unfortunate to people. Like I do feel like there was a long fucking time ago I did like Swag and his personality a bit, but now I'm starting to realize through these fucking debates that like especially like people on Discord, I'm starting to realize like through this shit, it's like you start to realize who you're fucking dealing with when you hear them argue. It's like if you hear them try to resort to rat type of arguments, like immediately if they're being pushed into a fucking corner, then that's kind of who you're fucking dealing with. Like they're just so willing to pull this rat shit in front of you because they want the fucking W. That's like that's all they care about. It's the fucking W. That's
Like
essentially all that
I don't
Swag wants.
particularly I don't hate Swagkage, and
Mhm.
I don't like, I don't have like, I'm just kind of like neutral about him. I used to watch videos and shit,
yeah,
and all I'd get from the debates is like I don't he's a great debater, but like I don't think that would say anything about like his personality per se, just from like the debate. Like I mean, because people will talk shit all the time, whatever. Like I don't think it really says anything about it, just because that's how people will be. And Swag does have like a large following, kind of a like a face to maintain in a way. Like if it came out that he was, because to his YouTube audience, right? If it came out that Swagkage, this guy that does a lot of Naruto videos, was losing to this one Discord debater that most people won't really know, or at
makes
least
it
most
seem
of
like
the
he's losing it at nobody,
targeting,
right? Like
it,
some
it might
random
like
dude.
invalidate like his opinions, or like it'd make people lose trust in like character. So I can understand why Swagkage would go
Yeah.
to these lengths,
That is, yeah.
but at the same time, it's still not
He
like
shouldn't have taken the
it's still
debate in the
not
first
right.
place if that was his like mentality, right?
But I
Right.
got nothing against Swagkage. He makes good videos.
Look, if
Also-
he came into like the whole debate saying I'm willing to hear out why Kakuzu beats Pain, then and if they give a more convincing side and shit, then I'm willing to accept that. But no, he was just adamant that the fact that Pain beats Kakuzu no matter what. It's not that he was it's like you shouldn't care about whether or not the position sounds absurd to you or not. It's like you should be willing to hear out the reasoning. It's like when I said like during like I can't remember, I think it was like during like a prior stream that I said like if Pain is like if Obito is at number 1, right? It's like oh well, I agree with that. I think that was like during like the clothespin shit. It's like, oh, if you agree that like Obito's number 1, but then and then like that person then says like, oh, well, I think Obito's up there because I just think he's the strongest.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, and it's like, oh, I just think he's like really intimidating looking, and he's way more intimidating than any of the rest of the Akatsuki members. That's why he's number 1. It's like you should only care about the reasoning, not for who you think wins. It's like that's why I think like a lot of people tend to, I think people tend to forget that, especially in the debate community. They only care about the who wins, not the why. It's especially like with the whole like death battle shit. It's like you shouldn't care about who wins the death battle and who they get correct on who wins. It's like you should only care about what they give as justification as why this person wins. Like that's kind of what I'm really irritated at.
The means are definitely more important than the ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you can't just like run around saying like some whack shit without justification. Like if nobody took the why into consideration, and I walked around saying that the Earth was a flat globe, who's gonna combat me? Like who's gonna care? Like if nobody cares about the mean, how are we going to see like greater truth? How are we gonna obtain more knowledge if everybody's just gonna stick their head in the sand and ignore the why?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Also, just
go ahead.
I would like just one more thing. It's like, and especially like with the whole like Swag immediately wanting to make fun of like Noodle shit. It's like immediately afterwards, like Swag immediately made a meme video on Parrot trying to make fun of all the shit that he said in this video,
like in the debate out of context and completely misrepresenting him. But then if you watch the full debate, you realize, oh, the context actually saves Parrot in almost all
Like
of those situations.
basically all of them are just like it's like if you took a random scene out of a movie and you played it in front of somebody. It doesn't have the same impact as if you watch the whole movie. Like context is extremely important.
Right.
But most of it is just like if somebody didn't know that much about Naruto and was just following like Swagkage or Parrot or like came along to it, right? And they saw that, the first thing they would jump to is like basically like absurdity. Like they think it's absurd to hear the end claim without the context backing up the claim. Like all they get to see is the claim, but they don't get to see the justification for it. Like if I walked up to somebody and like if you just walked up to someone and said, "Hey, Kakuzu beats Pain," right? They're probably gonna like, call you a retard and say that's like absurd, right? But if you brought up the evidence, context, you could definitely have a discussion about it. Like, it's definitely a lot closer than people think it is. But it's just the absurdity of it. Because if you just naturally, like, if you just watch the series and you're just kind of gliding along through it, right? You're not necessarily paying attention to all the little details about it, and you wouldn't get that conclusion just off of surfing it, you know?
Yeah.
Which is what a majority of people do when they watch a show. It's only through subsequent watches people really pick up on the small details.
Yep.
Right.
I still read Naruto sometimes and find stuff I didn't notice before, and I've read it like multiple times. So I mean, it's just one of those things. It's so massive, though; it's easy to do that.
I mean, you literally have like the six versus Noodles debate where you have Six, who's literally known as like you ask him what fight this shit like occurred in, he'll immediately tell you the chapter, and then like the first argument that Noodles brings up to Six was like something that he had never heard before, and he was just like, "What did you say?"
Yeah,
it's like we find new shit all the time in this.
People think that I don't research either.
Like,
Like
if
people
you
think I
like,
just don't read anything.
Like, just think about how the debate community was 2 years when it came to Naruto.
Yeah.
We didn't have like 90% of the arguments we're using like just this year were not around 2 years ago. they did not exist 2 years ago.
Definitely not. And even if they did, they were not nearly as advanced as they are now.
Yeah.
So.
All
right, guys.
It's like when.
Oh, go ahead.
Man, it's just like one more last thing. It's like
everyone's like, "Let me get one more. Let me get one more."
One more.
It's just like when people are trying to like go back to the whole like, oh well, like Naruto's only moon level type shit. It's like we literally like that whole debate meta ended years ago. It's like now we're finding more and more shit to like completely disprove that, and now it's like now we're even trying to prove that he's fucking universal now. It's like,
yeah,
why are you trying to like backpedal to this old shit? That's like why a lot of us don't like TikTok, because they're now just finding out these debate metas that like on Discord was found out like several years ago. So, and it's like only starting to like develop now is because some of the people from Discord are going on to TikTok.
Most of the things also are discovered usually like either right before a debate, during the debate, or a little bit after the debate. Is where most of the arguments will usually be found, because through debate and argumentation you'll realize a new line of reason, or you might find a new scan that can be interpreted in a way, and that'll just bring apart a whole new line of scale. It usually happens like during a debate where your arguments are challenged. You'll find new ways to get around it, or you'll come up with a new line of thought to prove your argument. And it's usually where shit starts to evolve. So the more something is debated, the more information
you're
is
like
going
stress testing your
come
argument
out
all the time, basically. Like you're constantly thinking of new counters. So
like if you handed somebody just like a gun like straight out of the factory, right? And you put it, and it's just a regular gun, right? Put it through a stress test, right? And it falls apart. Like I would trust the gun that went through the stress test twice already than the one that just came straight out of the factory. You know, because I know it's been through shit. I know it could probably do it again.
Yeah.
But this new one's like completely untested. You gotta, you know, put that bitch in the forge. You know, and you like what Seth has said before. Like your argument's a weapon. You know, you gotta keep putting that bitch in the forge and make it better and better.
Yep. All right, guys. I think we'll end it there. We have had a lot of good discussion, but this,
No, wait, one more thing.
the stream
Shut
is
the
running.
fuck up, sir.
The stream is running close to 3 hours now, so we're gonna try and keep it under that 3 hour mark. That way, people don't get scared. But yeah, if you guys like this video, go ahead and drop a like. This will probably be my last time talking about Swagkage for a while. I don't
Unless
think
he decides he
yeah.
wants to debate again.
Unless, of course, he decides he wants to make a video about this or debate again, then you'll probably get some more content like this. But yeah, we're just going to stick to, I'm not really going to try and do any collabs with anyone other than probably like Surfbone, maybe Parrot, or some other people. I might do a video with Crisis, too. He's one of my homies. He's got like 5,000 subs. Probably do a thing with them. But yeah, I'm just going to try and grow my own channel from here on, because we're actually doing better at that. Like, Seth shot me out in that Mike Tyson versus Bruce Lee video. I barely got anything from that. But my Swagkage videos that I've been doing on my own volition and everything, and all my other videos have actually been rapidly growing my channel faster than anything. So, yeah, I'm just going to actually just keep doing that, and hopefully we can get somewhere. But hope you guys all enjoyed. We're probably just going to go ahead and end the stream here. So, if you guys want to go ahead and throw some money at me, now is the time. I'll give you a minute, you know. I appreciate money. It boosts production time of all my videos and makes them higher quality. You'll finally let me pay my editor, Saiboshi. He has an 8 in a few weeks, so he'd like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich eventually.
Hey, I just ate a pizza. Shh.
Who'd you steal that from?
Can't say. I went to the old Little Caesars and gave him a knock.
Hey, y'all got my pizza?
Hey, y'all got pizza?
There's Noodles here. He owes me.
He owes me.
I've edited 1,000 videos and he still hasn't given me my peanut butter and jelly.
In 3 weeks, he owes me a pizza.
Alright, guys, I'll go ahead and log off so no one. Oh! Never mind.
What's the saucy babu?
Saucy came in with a $5 donation. Noodles, can we be friends? No. But thank you for your money. I appreciate that a lot.
It's like, I'll appreciate you, but my hate for you still, like, it's at never ending.
We do need to make a GoFundMe for Naya's laptop. Bro, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for Naya. Holy shit. You think we could pull some money together?
We might get like $20. Huh?
No, we can get more than that. Alimony to my with the 99-cent donation. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it a lot. Alright, guys. I will see you guys